is the SighSquadPod. I am Noah. Are we going around saying our names?
Sure, I'm Duncan. Yeah.
I'm Ethan, I guess.
I am not dead this week, y'all, so you'll actually be hearing from me.
Yeah. Brendan is alive and well, and we're going to start the show with the true superior sport. I'm of course kidding, but if you guys do not know, this Sunday is MLS Cup, which is the Super Bowl of Major League Soccer. We're going to have another rivalry kind of renewed. It is the Seattle Sounders versus Toronto FC. This is actually the third time they've met in MLS Cup over the last 4 years. This year's a little bit different because they're both underdogs. And before, they were like two of the best teams. They were top seeds, kicking everyone's butt. This year, they're both coming in as underdogs. So, you guys going to watch?
Yeah.
You are? Well, let me tell you what to watch for.
Alrighty.
Just so you know. Okay, so the game is in Seattle because the team that finishes with the best regular season points, which was Seattle.
That's who I want to win.
No. I don't know. Do you like the underdog?
I don't know yet.
Ooh.
Let me find out.
Okay, well, let me tell you about Seattle. Seattle is they're the model success team. They have talented players all over, like Nicholas Ladero, Christian Roldan.
What a guy.
I know. And they have one of the best.
Cristiano Ronaldo?
Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, that guy. They have him.
They got Messi?
They don't have Messi.
Oh, man.
They do have a guy named Stephen Fry.
David Beckham?
Stephen Fry?
Stephen Fry, yes. He's a goalkeeper for Seattle. He was going to sign for Seattle, but he kind of backed out last minute.
Oh, man.
Yeah, with the Cristiano Ronaldo, formerly known as Christian Roldan, he's actually on the men's national team, so he's a very solid player.
Nice.
Seattle has a solid defense, kind of led by Kevin Leerdam, who is on the Netherlands, or at least he's on the bench for the Netherlands national team. Which
interesting.
Yeah. So basically what makes them successful is they play great defense and they are great in transition, which means they turn the ball over, go quick the other way, and just score goals and play good defense. And, they're the number 2 seed. They got here by beating the number 1 seed, the best team in the league, LAFC, on the road.
Hard work pays off.
The hard work pays off. This is a team that won MLS Cup 2 years ago. They know what they represent. They're well coached. They're probably going to be the favorites heading into Sunday. But Toronto FC, do not sleep on Toronto FC. They're definitely the underdog story of this whole tournament. They went on the road to beat the top 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference to move on to their third MLS Cup in 4 years. This year in a little bit different fashion. This team has been plagued with injuries, like with Josie Altidore and Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley. Michael Bradley. Not Avery Bradley. He plays for the Lakers.
I was getting excited. I was like, wait, what?
Avery Bradley? Yeah, no. Michael Bradley. Hey. Yeah, I'm actually not going to say anything about Avery Bradley because he's not that good. But.
Shots fired.
Hot take. But okay. Michael Bradley. They've had injuries all year, but yet they've managed to storm with their newest signing they signed in the beginning of the year, Alejandro Pozuelo. I know, he's a cool name. So, Toronto is just a gritty team. They have a lot of veterans that have a lot of experience and know how to win, led by Jonathan Osorio, who is one of the longest tenured players on that team, probably the best player on that team when Josie Altidore is injured or when he's not in the field. But Josie Altidore, from my report, he will be healthy for MLS Cup. That's going to add a different layer of attack for Toronto FC. This is a team that has a lot of depth. They have a lot of scoring depth in Jordan Hamilton, the guy who scored the game winner last week, who was Nick DeLeon. They're playing just really good right now. They're going to be the underdogs, but I think they have a really solid chance of winning. Greg Vanney has probably been the best coach in these playoffs so far in terms of strategy and doing what it takes to beat these teams. So
awesome. So who do you think is going to win this MLS Cup?
I think that the winner is going to be Toronto FC. I think this is a team with a lot of hungry vets. They are going to be the underdogs. MLS tends to be a game about the underdogs. And the longer that the game goes, it's going to favor Toronto because Toronto is actually second in MLS in goals in the final 20 minutes. So basically, they're one of the best clutch teams in Major League Soccer. They actually did it last week, or a couple weeks ago against Atlanta. They scored a goal in the 78th minute, which ended up standing as the game-winning goal. So they know how to play in the clutch. They have a lot of scrappy vets. I think they're going to be able to add another layer of attack with Josie Outdoor being healthy. I think it's going to throw off Seattle's game a little bit. So I think Toronto will win. And after missing the playoffs a year ago, failing to defend their title, they will come back. They'll win their second MLS Cup in 3 years.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
tune in. It'll be on ABC at 2 p.m. Central on
This Sunday.
This Sunday. So it'll be during football time, but
I mean,
if you guys ever find yourself on ABC,
it is football, so.
it is football. So football on
Makes
football.
sense.
So, all right.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, guys. This has been the SighSquadPod. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll see you next week. So next,
You know, I would just point
yeah,
out,
yeah,
It's really good we have Noah now
yeah.
because none of us knew shit about soccer.
Now
No.
you do. Now you guys already know something about MLS Cup, so I'm saying you guys should just watch.
I honestly already forgot everything.
That's okay.
Mainly because I zoned out.
Go see
I
your
will.
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Go
FC.
Seattle.
No. We want Toronto to win because I'm picking Toronto.
But I picked them to win the NHL
Okay,
Stanley Cup last year
Ooh, that's
Why?
true.
because they weren't in the league yet.
Oh, you're talking about Seattle.
He's talking
Yeah.
about yeah.
I thought you were talking about Toronto.
No,
like,
Seattle.
why?
That was my team.
Well, I mean that's a
last year.
fair thing.
Like, they're a playoff team, but, like, no.
No, I know what you mean.
How many Canadian MLS teams are there?
There's 3. You have Toronto FC, Vancouver Whitecaps, and Montreal Impact. Yeah.
I don't know if Ben's favorite team would be Toronto or not. Then.
Probably.
Interesting.
Because if it was just the one team in Canada,
Canada. But Toronto FC is easily the best team in Canada. If that does any difference. I mean,
but then Ben would be a Canadian bandwagoner.
That's okay.
no, I mean, if he joins them this year, technically they're an underdog team this year. Like, no one expected them to make the playoffs. I didn't think they'd make the
He
playoffs.
won't like Montreal though,
No.
because I like the city of Montreal.
Oh,
Have you ever been to Montreal?
I want to.
Have you ever been to Canada?
Nope.
wow. It's gonna be a fun matchup.
It's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good game, guys. Don't be surprised if it goes overtime. Or extra time, as they call it in soccer.
Oh. Well, Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz had an epic fight this weekend. Well, it should have been epic.
It should have been epic.
It was stopped by medical personnel after Diaz was cut below and above the eye. Jorge Masvidal won the BMF championship presented by Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And apparently there's going to be a rematch. Do you guys think that the fight should have kept going or should have been stopped?
I think it should have.
I think it should have kept going, but I could see where the medical team would be worried at that moment.
Oh, yeah, because in the end, anything I would rather have it stopped and then make it into a
Yeah.
than be like, oh shoot, he's severely hurt. He's out for multiple UFC events.
Mhm.
Bad.
What do you guys think?
No comment.
Great story. Great story.
I agree with Noah.
Alrighty. Well, next up we got some college football to talk about.
Yes, we got some good games this week. Well, we have 2 good games. But
Yeah.
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 So we'll start out with Florida Seminoles. They decided to fire somebody.
They did.
$17 million they cut or they lost.
Did you know the boosters actually like donated money so they can buy out his contract?
Oh, I love that so much. What? Why?
Willie Taggart, because he's
Yeah.
an awful head coach, and it was a doomsday from the beginning.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Things kind of went down south once Jimbo Fisher left and shipped out to Texas A&M. He took all his talent with him, and now Florida State's bad.
So what else is going on in college football this week?
We got some awesome games on this week. Well, we'll save the main event for last, but we'll start with one that's pretty close to home. We got the now 13th ranked Minnesota Golden Gophers. They're taking on the 5th ranked. They'll be hosting the 5th ranked team in the nation, the Penn State Nittany Lions. Penn State opens up as 6.5 point favorites. Both teams are 8-0.
Wow.
Both teams are looking to vie for a chance at the not only the Big Ten championship game, but whoever wins this game is going to be in contention to make a playoff, which is so crazy to say with the Gophers, but they will be in that conversation. Like, it'll be a very faint conversation if the Gophers win, but they're in that conversation.
I like it.
So, yeah. I think Penn State will win, though. unfortunately. But I think it's going to be a good game, though.
Hopefully.
I think it will. I believe that is an 11 o'clock kickoff time.
On Saturday?
On Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
You know what else is going on Saturday? 3 p.m.
Yes.
On CBS.
On SEC on CBS.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The matchup.
LSU.
Number 1.
Versus Bama.
Number 2.
Who's going to win?
Alabama. If
Ooh.
Tua's healthy. If Tua is not healthy, I think Joe Burrow is going to make some plays and win that game. But Tua Tagovailoa, I heard, is going to be healthy for that game. They fully expect him to play. So in that case, I think that they're going to win because I think the offense runs better with Tua Tagovailoa, even though they did win in pretty convincing fashion last week. I think it was against Mississippi, Ole Miss, a team that they realistically should beat. But no, but I think that Alabama is the better team. I think they have the better defense right now. I think Alabama at home is impossible to beat, no matter who they play. I think Tua Tagovailoa is realistically probably better than Joe Burrow in some aspects of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow, this is his big hey, look at me, I'm making a run for the number 1 overall pick game. If he has I wouldn't be surprised if he has an insanely good game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Alabama's 7-point favorites, I'm kind of shocked. If I was betting in Vegas, I would take the under easily.
Nice. Well, what do you got that score being?
I have that score being, it's going to be a close one. I have that score being, sorry, let me just whip it out here. I think it's going to be 27-20 Crimson Tide.
Well, normally I'd roll Tide. Big fan of Alabama. Conrad Thompson, if you listen to any wrestling podcast, you know who that is. He says roll Tide. Made me roll Tide like Bama. But I'm going with LSU on this one just because I kind of like Joe Burrow. And my brother, who actually watches college football often, likes LSU better than Alabama. And so.
I hope they win for Derek's sake.
Oh, yeah, Derek's a good guy.
But I haven't had the nerve to tell him that you realize your team's probably going to lose if Tua plays.
Well, I have it 48-46. It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, it will be a barn
What you got, Brendan?
So, I think Bama's going to win, and I agree. I think Tua's probably going to play, which is going to definitely really nail in the coffin here. I think...
Bless you.
Excuse me. I think that the Bama defense is going to get stopped later in the game, though, and it's going to be 32-17 Bama.
Ethan, what do you got going on this Saturday, 3 p.m.?
Working.
What game will you be watching in the background?
What?
What game will be on while you're doing trivia?
Question.
Well,
all I know about college football is Danielle Hunter came from LSU. I like Danielle Hunter, but I'm picking Bama.
Smart.
Going with the easier
quite the
choice.
bar.
I got a really big barn burn. I almost got that game breaking 100 points. I got Bama winning 52-45.
Honestly, though, it could happen.
I think it's either going to be a game where it's mid. I have 27-20. I think it's going to be mainly some defensive plays. I don't know.
7 pick sixes, 3 fumbles, or
Wow.
3 touchdowns.
Wow,
Damn.
that'd be insane.
Honestly, I think that score would be my score would have to be higher if that was actually the case.
Maybe.
That'd be literally insane.
Well, you can see that on our Instagram at SighSquadPod. We'll post a little infographic thingy, majig, image, picture, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
On our team. Yep. But now for the main event, the NFL.
Am I going to talk about basketball this week?
Well, you want to talk about basketball?
I kind of do.
I was saving that kind of for hot takes because you had a hot take on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
We can talk about basketball. Go ahead. Yeah.
No one can actually probably.
College basketball?
No.
March Madness is coming up in 4 months, 6 months.
Coming up here in
Mark
about
Madness is right around the corner.
Excited.
Right?
Go Loyola.
Loyola, Chicago. Go Sisters Dean.
We can save it.
You want to save it? You can go now if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
Nice of you.
Uh,
Does anybody else want to know?
I'm always down to talk about basketball.
Jimmy Butler
That's why
wants
that
to
was one of my
start
biggest
problems.
Yeah.
It's a hot take.
You want me to say the Jimmy Butler? I have
Yeah.
other things to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Butler was one.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler. We'll save Jimmy Butler for a little later.
Well, the other thing is just how kind of weird this NBA season is going.
76ers are 5-0.
I don't know. I was gonna say something about that, but I mean, there's no real competition on the.
That's true, that's true, that's true.
And the Heat. But no, I was gonna talk about. I saw this thing. Houston Rocket fans are overreacting again this year because currently the Rockets are the A seed, and the same thing happened last year, and it seemed like everybody thought that the Rockets were just gonna fall apart. But I mean, I think people are reacting way too soon. It's still really early in the season.
There's still like 70 plus games left to play. Everyone chill.
Yeah, I mean,
Like everyone legit needs to chill about everything that's going on.
yeah.
Like I'm sorry, Ethan, but the T-Wolves are not going to be the number 2 seed.
No,
It's all said and done.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
They will not.
I mean, the way they're playing this year, though, I definitely could see them making the playoffs. It's like
Oh,
7 or 8
no, I
seed.
really could too, but they're not going to be a 2 seed.
Yeah, definitely not. But yeah, that Timber was actually one thing I want to talk about because I was actually looking at the Western Conference and I was looking at the teams that are below them. And like I said, I really think the Timberwolves could easily make the playoffs this year. I thought the only team that is going to be competing against us is the Jazz out in the West.
Jazz will be a little bit higher, I think.
But what I mean is like as the 7-8 type of seed.
I can see you competing with the Suns.
I don't think the Suns will make the playoffs though, personally.
I don't either. But Suns offense is much improved. Much improved.
Yeah. Well, because what I was going through is I looked at the other teams in the West, and I did like my top 8 personal teams. And I said, for sure, the Lakers will make the playoffs. The Clippers will make the playoffs. I think the Mavericks will make the playoffs. I think the Spurs will make the playoffs. I think the Nuggets will make the playoffs. I think the Rockets will make the playoffs. That puts it at 6. I was like, I think those are your 6 locks. Like, I just don't see them not making the playoffs. And I looked at it and I was like, the Blazers will probably make the playoffs.
Oh, Blazers should be a lock.
Well, my problem was, the only reason I said it is because when I looked at it, I was like, I don't think the Blazers are better than the Nuggets. I don't think they're better than the Rockets just because of how deadly.
Well, yeah, but they should still be a lock, though.
But
just because they're not better than those teams, I mean, they're still not a lock.
Yeah, but that's my thing, though. Is like those 6 teams I just listed, like, I just don't see that. Like, I 100% guarantee.
I think Portland's going to be a top 4 seed in the West.
Really?
I do. I think Portland has always just been a solid basketball team. They're going to have one of the top scoring teams because they have Dame, because they have CJ McCollum. Hassan Whiteside has been really big for them because he's doing the one thing they brought him to do, defense and rebounds. Portland, I believe, is like one of the top teams in the league in second chance points.
Oh, I'd believe it. Well,
yeah.
Even if they get Nurkic back this season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're just
getting 2 of the best rebounding bigs in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're like second chance points means a lot in today's NBA, and that's what they're good at. And it's going to help against teams like Denver, the Clippers, the Lakers. But it's going to be one of those tightly contested defensive games, and you need to get those second chance points.
Yeah.
So I would refute Portland, but carry on.
But then that's also the thing. I was gonna say it'd be Portland, Minnesota, and the Jazz. I think would probably be the last 3 teams out in the West that I could realistically see making the playoffs. Because I know that I was like, I don't think the Pelicans will make it, or I doubt they really will. Grizzlies, I don't think they will. I honestly don't think the Warriors will make the playoffs this year. I think they will embrace the tank, especially with Steph Curry going down.
Oh yeah.
Because Draymond's not the type of player to be able to carry a team the way he plays. I honestly think they'll embrace the tank, like we were talking before this podcast. Tank for a good pick, get depth, go after a championship next year. I don't think the Kings will make it. Like I said, I predicted them to be a top 3 seed before the season started, but I don't know. They're playing bad.
But they're starting to pick up play though right now.
And they are. It's just it's worrisome of the start that they have.
It's just because they're young. That's all it is. They're just a young team.
Which I agree with, but I mean, you can maybe put them in a fringe playoff.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, I would take Minnesota over them just because of Cat.
Cat's literally having an MVP. It's gonna have an MVP caliber, and Wiggins is playing better too.
And I just don't know if the Thunder is gonna want to compete this year.
Yeah,
I mean, they won obviously a game against the Clippers or the Warriors. I mean, they kicked their ass, but I mean that's not saying much with how the Warriors are playing now. And then that's it. So I mean, like I said, I just think that the West is already almost starting to get set for playoffs.
For sure.
I mean, outside of the Blazers and the Jazz moving up, and probably the Suns moving down.
I don't know. The Suns, they beat the 76ers tonight.
Did they?
They beat the 76ers.
Shoot.
Devin Booker had 40 points, went 15 for 19, 4 rebounds.
Yeah, but it's just like the whole Thunder thing. Like the Thunder destroyed Golden State by 46 points.
76ers were the last undefeated team.
Yeah, but no team in NBA history is ever gonna go 82-0.
Unless you're the Warriors in 2 years. Could happen.
Speaking of Warriors, Trailblazers are up 65-64.
Oh, nice.
Fun fact.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally.
But then the other thing I was just gonna say was actually out in the East. It's kind of weird seeing the Hornets be, as of right now, being the 6th seed, because the Hornets have a bad team on paper. They have nobody. Literally not a single star player without Kemba Walker there.
When your best players are rookie, PJ Washington, a boy from Kentucky.
Oh,
well, especially even that,
I was gonna say I can't even think of anybody who plays on.
Oh, Terry Rozier, scary Terry,
Bacon.
but he's not. He's not.
Bacon.
It's just weird because
What?
it seems
Bacon.
Oh yes, they have Bacon.
I don't know his
Yeah.
first name.
This is
Dwayne Bacon, because
Dwayne
he got
Bacon.
called Dwayne Wade in the press conference where he got introduced to the team. The Bucks are surprisingly the Bucks are kind of having a slow start to their season. Again, I wouldn't be worried about it because it's early in the season, but from what they are now, they honestly are not looking as good as they were last year.
I literally saw this happening from 500 miles away.
Yeah. Again, I just think the biggest problem with them is Chris Middleton is not.
He's not good.
He's
He's good, but he's not an all-star. He's not. He had a fluke year.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think he can be the second guy in the championship team.
No.
I think he can definitely be maybe a third guy, but I think that Bucks team will probably be a top 3 seed by the end of the year.
Bounce in the second
But
round.
that's the thing is, I honestly think they're the Eastern Conference version of the Lob City Clippers.
They're gonna be so good, but just when it comes to the time it matters.
Yeah, they're gonna get swamped and yeah. And then Giannis is gonna leave, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, just so you know, fans, don't be sad or disappointed when he decides to go to the Warriors, because it's gonna happen.
Well, here's my thing, and I don't know if I just don't know what it is. I'm not as scared as Giannis going to the Warriors as I was if Giannis goes to the Warriors as I was when Kevin Durant went. Because the thing about Kevin Durant and Giannis' game, don't get me wrong, Giannis on a Warriors team with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
They're going to be title favorites.
Yeah. But the thing about Kevin Durant is a top 5 shooter in the league. When he's healthy, the dude is a 6'11" Steph Curry, basically. He can hit down threes from anywhere. And that's Giannis' problem, is he's just not a shooter.
Right, but Giannis is still one of the most, he's seriously one of the more unstoppable players in the league now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know.
Speaking of unstoppable, can I just take a moment to just remind everyone that LeBron is still the best player in the world? Can I just remind everyone? Oh, I'm going to now. If anybody watched the game against Dallas, if anybody watched the game yesterday...
Oh, Dallas is a little team.
Yes. But I just want to remind you all what I said in the beginning of the year, and I'm going to keep saying it. LeBron is a selective player. He knows that. That is what the league is now. The league does not matter about regular. They don't care about regular season. They care about getting to the playoffs, making a run there. LeBron, when he wants to play, can play great defense, and he literally just creates so many opportunities, not just to score for his other team. It happened against Dallas. He found Danny Green because he brought in all the pressure, and I'm just going to kick it out to one of the most underrated three-point shooters in the game, drill it. I'm going to score 10 points in overtime. I'm going to be dominant. I'm going to be LeBron. And then what does he do the next day? Triple-double again.
Yeah.
So I'm just reminding you all that he's still the best player in the world. So that's all I have to say.
Outside of Anthony Davis, his team is garbage.
No, yeah, this is not a good roster. It's not. It's not. And because of LeBron and Anthony Davis, I will say more LeBron than Anthony Davis. They are winners of 5 straight. Set to be 6 straight, I believe. I think they're playing right now. They are not. I apologize for lying. But they are first place in the West right now. They're actually better than the Clippers, record-wise. And I bet you if they play the Clippers again next go-around, it could be a different result.
Ooh. I don't know. I still think the Clippers are the best team out in the West.
Oh, no, I still think so.
Their team is.
You know what it is? Hey, if the Lakers played the Clippers at home, they got them.
What's the difference?
I think that's okay. Totally not off topic. Like I think it's so stupid how that counts as a road loss for the Lakers.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Yeah, just a little petty thing there.
Yeah.
But.
You were about to talk about Dallas though.
Yeah, Dallas. Dallas is gonna be a scary good
Luka
team.
Doncic is a bad mofo.
Yeah.
Bless you.
With Kristaps.
Oh my God, those two are killer connection. Those two are fun to watch together. And I tell you what, Luka Doncic is already off to a better start than what he was doing last year. Luka Doncic is like the future of this league. He's going to be one of the best young stars. He's going to make the game global. He's going to continue to be even more global than it is because he's a top European star. He's only, 20 years old, 21 years old?
I think 20.
Oh, my God. That's right, because when he went into the league, he was 19. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I just think if they can get a couple more younger pieces, like young franchise pieces with them, because the next few years, I mean, that's gonna be a good team. Like if they can get like,
I think they're a playoff team right now.
oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's just, it's kind of funny. Like looking at it, they are basically the younger version of what Los Angeles, the Lakers are doing. Like they have Luka, who's kind of like their LeBron. Obviously, I'm not comparing Luka to LeBron.
Luka did also have back-to-back triple-doubles yesterday as well.
Yeah, people called it the triple-double battle because they obviously went to overtime in that Dallas Lakers game, and LeBron and Doncic ended with triple-doubles.
When you get praise from LeBron, you know you're good.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's funny that it's like two of the best white basketball players on the same team now.
And the crazy thing is, like, this Maverick team could be totally different had
Dirk not retired.
Well, not Dirk not retired, but if in the draft, if the Mavericks and the Hawks never made the trade, some people forget Doncic was actually a Hawk.
Yeah.
And then Dallas selected Trae Young, and then they swapped the picks. Which obviously Trae Young is easily probably the sickest player out of that draft class so far. So I mean, both teams kind of won.
Yeah, I was like, both teams are doing fine with it.
Yeah.
Sweet. Congrats.
I really I think because I don't think the Bulls are actually going to do anything. It seemed like this is a year where I put way too much faith in my Chicago teams.
Yeah. I've learned not to do that with any of them.
But what I was gonna say with Dallas is they're just if I was the league, I'd put them on notes. I think they're gonna be a fun team to watch the next 5-6 years. Like they're gonna be really fun to watch, and they could probably compete for a championship in 3 years. Yeah.
Or they could probably, depending on what happens, they could probably compete next year.
Well, the problem is I just don't think they're better than either of the Los Angeles teams right now.
Yeah, but just think about what couple people are about to be free agents.
But that's the thing is not a lot of people want to go. I just don't know why, but it seems like nobody ever wants to go to Dallas.
I don't know why. Dallas is
it's weird. Yeah, it's a big market city.
Mark Cuban. I don't know if that's real.
No, honestly, that could be. I think I've heard things where he is kind of a dick to his players.
Is he? Because I hear good things about Mark Cuban.
I hear
but
both.
Then that's the other things I've also heard. Yeah, I've also heard he's a really cool owner because he's in touch with his players.
He's definitely an owner who's invested in the team.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This year, STI intramurals will ball out. We gotta post some highlights for Mr. Cuban, who you want to make
and that's the thing
$500,000.
Looking at the Mavericks roster, if you take Luka Doncic and Porzingis away, arguably their best player is Tim Hardaway Jr. I mean, they just don't have good players outside of them at all. It's amazing how they're 4-2. Cause they don't have because Dwight Powell's their starting center, Jalen Brunson's their starting shooting guard, and Seth Curry's their starting point guard.
Hey, Curry brother.
Hey, leave Curry. Leave Seth Curry alone.
I mean, Seth Curry's a good decent player. But I mean, then yeah, their bench is just. They got Boban Marjanovic, so it's
Hey, Boba, he's
the 7'4" beast out of Serbia.
scary.
Fun fact: did you guys know he's one of the most like efficient offensive players ever?
I think I did see that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact for the day.
Yeah.
Well,
I want to see Taco Fall go against him in the paint.
Oh,
It'd be so fun to watch.
the crowd would literally just give us.
7'4" Boban versus 7'6" Taco. That'd be so fun.
Well, wouldn't Taco just win because he's 7'6"?
Not necessarily.
Yeah, because Boban's got weight on him compared to Taco. Like Taco's really skinny.
Taco looks like a giant, like twig.
He is a giant twig.
Yeah, basically.
Can you imagine put some meat on his bones
Yeah.
and like give him a post move?
Taco's like Manute Bol to Boban's other really tall guy that played
Wow.
for the Washington Bullets.
wow.
Can't think of his name. I can see his face. He's 7'5". George Mershon. That's who it was.
George Mershon.
Mershon, yeah.
You guys remember George Mikan or John Mikan?
No.
Mikan, yeah, I think I do, yeah.
He played for the Minneapolis Lakers.
Yeah, he was like
He was like 7'2".
Yeah, he was the first enforcer of the NBA because yeah.
Made the
Interesting.
Minneapolis Lakers a dynasty.
He was like
Oh.
the first tall white player.
Wow. Congratulations to him.
George
That's a-
Mikan.
George Mikan. Congrats to George Mikan. His statue's actually outside the Target Center. So
Wow. Well, you're talking about Dallas. You're talking about Minnesota. They play
they play.
next week, this Sunday night. Let's talk about Minnesota this week. The NFC North all lost.
This was
What?
A month talking about
Yeah, we talked about hockey last week. Week
Yeah.
before last week.
Yeah, but
Do you have some interesting news about hockey?
no, I just wanted to mention that we've been through a month of hockey.
Okay.
Well, and currently number 2 in both the conferences did not make the playoffs last year, and that's
Cool.
the
Yeah, we laughed.
Sabres and the Canucks.
Sabres have a lot of.
I don't
good
like
talent.
neither of those
The
teams.
difference between the same,
Me
they
either.
actually are very similar teams. They both have a lot of young talent,
Mm-hmm.
and they have 2 good players built around Jack Eichel and Patterson for the Canucks.
Wow.
So yeah, that honestly could stand because the NHL is just getting younger, and the Sabres and the Canucks do a good job at that. So
When I first got into hockey, I actually called them the Bill Sabres
the Bill Sabres.
because I didn't.
Well, their logo literally is just a buffalo with 2 swords in that.
Yeah, so I thought I thought the town was Bill, and
Oh,
I thought it was
Bill-
the Bill Buffaloes and the Bill Sabres.
No, silly goose, that's not what it is.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Wow. Back to the NFL. The NFC North all lost, and the AFC West surprisingly all won. And
Oh.
3 of those matchups were actually against each other. So the Chiefs, obviously, they beat the Vikings by a field goal last second. Not much to say there.
Thank you, Harrison Butker, for fantasy points.
Stop being so mad about Matt Moore. He's a decent quarterback. And that offense is just good. Without Patrick Mahomes. No, he's not. No. The Raiders beat the Lions. That match was really close. And Matthew Stafford actually had a great game. Well, I wouldn't say great. He had a really, really good game. 406 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception.
460. That's a really good game.
I'd put that as a great game.
Yeah, he threw an
Yeah, but
interception.
1 interception to 400 yards.
I guess.
And he had 3 touchdowns. So.
When did he throw that interception? Pass all the time? Was it?
I think it was the middle of the third or something. I don't know. The Lions were actually ahead for most of the game, and then Detroit came and took it from them. Yeah.
Detroit? Did you mean Detroit choking like the
Yeah.
game of the year?
Shh, we
They
don't talk
can't
about
finish
it. The Chargers destroyed the Packers. Let's sit here and talk about it in a second, because our Packers defender isn't here. They exposed the Packers
Yeah,
defense.
let's talk shit about the Packers.
Yeah.
Weird. It's like when I said a week ago that they're starting to get exposed week after week, and then I talk about it, they get blown out.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've been saying it since week 1.
Well, true.
Yeah.
True. I was a little weird. I was a little late to it, but like you've been saying, wow, they've been exposed. But they've just been winning.
Can I mention that, like,
No.
if we were talking about the Chargers blowing out the Packers at the beginning of the season,
It would have been believable.
we would have been like, oh,
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
that's
are
what we
Chargers are
expect.
probably going to turn their season around. Right?
Oh, I know
Yeah.
they are. I'm sad.
Like they're
I
probably
watched
gonna,
that,
Ethan,
but
you know they're probably going to beat the Vikings when they come. It's going to be a close game.
I don't know if it's in yours. I don't know if is it in yours bank.
Well, no, but I put air quotes around no because you know there's going to be more Vikings fans there than Chargers fans.
That was the crazy thing about the Kansas City game, though.
There was a lot of
Kansas,
Vikings.
yeah.
I knew like 10 people that went to that game.
Like it was a lot.
Well,
of people in,
If you think about it, it's the Midwest game to go to if you're a Vikings fan and you're going to an away game.
True. Yeah. Dude, it's not that far from the Twin Cities.
No.
It's like a 7-hour drive or something like that. It's
And-
like 5 hours from here from Sioux Falls.
and you don't want
It's
to go
the
to
best-
Lambeau because you'll like actually get, or you don't want to go to Green Bay because you'll actually get like stabbed. because
It's actually a
of
good
Don't
the
get
team.
stabbed, it's getting weird.
I thought it was going to be a good matchup to begin with.
No, that's
So,
What's
that's
funny
if you're
because
Dallas going to Philadelphia.
Brendan
Yeah,
actually-
Well, if you go to
Yeah.
Philadelphia, you get stabbed.
Brendan said last week the reason the Vikings lose was because of Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill was basically their only offense outside of Sammy Watkins,
Mhm.
like 2 insane catches. Like-
Damian Williams.
Well, Damian
So I
Williams
guess
had a good
that
run,
that big run.
but that was about it. Though.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, was I right about something when I was almost dead?
Because Tyreek Hill killed us because we kept getting him to like 3rd and 14, so then Tyreek Hill would get like 20.
But I mean, that's what Tyreek Hill does,
I know.
realistically.
I know why the Vikings lost.
Tyreek Hill is a freak of nature.
Because of those passes.
Well, and I'm with the Vikings. I was watching this game. And I was so bamboozled by their play calling.
Oh yeah, definitely 100%.
Like,
That's actually I was gonna go on a mini rant about it, but
yeah,
the problem with the Vikings losing yesterday is they went away from why they were winning in weeks past.
why did they do that? Why did they do that?
Stefanski and Zimmer, all of a sudden they're like, oh, we just won 4 straight off of going deep. Like, granted, we didn't play great teams, but the Chiefs secondary isn't great. And I know we didn't have Adam Thielen this week because he only played a couple snaps when he went out of the
Yeah,
game.
but the one thing I was disappointed they went away from is the run.
Yeah.
You're playing the 3rd worst rushing defense in football.
And they showed-
Feed Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Feed him.
I just realized something.
What?
What?
Of the members of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Every single person whose favorite team has a winning record, right?
Oh, wow. Way to exclude me here.
Didn't win this last week,
You know who did it? Well, wait,
But the
the
only-
Rams didn't play.
We had a bye.
but they didn't win,
That's true.
The Broncos won, though. I was very happy about that.
and the Broncos have a losing record.
I wasn't scared at all about the Broncos losing this matchup, to be honest with you.
It was I said the Browns.
Yeah.
But no one was saying with the Vikings and their play calling. I mean,
Sorry.
I 100% agree. Like, it's bullshit. They change, like they get soft every couple of weeks. Like they realize we're a high-powered offense, and then they force, or they don't force. They tell Cousins go deep because then that makes the defense back up. Well,
Yeah.
when you back up, then it allows the holes to open up for Dalvin Cook, and then vice versa. You run with Dalvin Cook, they're gonna load the box. Then you go deep, go over top. Sean Diggs is one of the best deep catching receivers in the league. I mean, the dude is. I mean, you know, it pisses me off when I see it.
Yeah.
Because I did the rain after they lost to Chicago to a backup quarterback. Like, our defense can do it, but the offense has to be able to put up the points.
They just
To
can't
back
win
up.
against backup
I guess
quarterbacks.
not.
One thing I think too is like, okay, so Kirk Cousins was okay that game.
Mhm.
He was okay. He was fine. It's still my major concern about Kirk Cousins. I still want to see what Kirk Cousins can do when not everything's going right. When everything's going right for Kirk Cousins, he plays awesome.
Yeah.
And all the wins they had, things have gone right for them. The running game was working. Their defense is making stops. You know, minus the Detroit game, but like same thing. Like their offense is moving. Cook was having a good game. Like whatever, blah blah blah. You know, they're playing bad defenses. I still get to see that big win from Kirk Cousins when things are back against the wall. You know, we're losing, our coach is making bad play calling, or we're down, back and forth football game, important win. Like, I'm still not convinced because the Vikings had 2 chances to go for game-winning drives and punted both times.
I will say to start the game though, the very first play of the game, Dalvin Cook dropped a pass, like a wide open pass. He dropped.
No,
And
and I
then the
know,
second
and I
play
know
of the
that.
game, Obese Johnson dropped another pass.
Right.
They started off really bad.
Hey,
And-
Laquan Treadwell dropped a pass.
And Pat Elflein's horrible. Pat Elflein, the
Oh.
left guard for he is absolute dog shit.
They moved to the left guard now?
Yeah, because we have Garrett Bradbury.
Oh, it's true. Because he's actually good.
Yeah. Because they drafted him in hopes that Pat Elflein was going to be comfortable at left guard.
Which he is not.
Which he's not.
Apparently.
No. Seriously, he either gets a holding call against him or he gets blown every single time.
Hey, that sounds like Garrett Bowles.
Yeah, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sounds like Note Boom on the Rams.
Seriously, Pat Elflein's horrible. Like, absolute.
He was their. No, he was the Vikings' second round draft pick from Ohio State.
Yes.
Interesting. Wow.
Because he was their center 2 years ago as a rookie, and then last year he was their center guard because they kind of interchanged him.
Right.
And then this year, because of Garrett Bradbury, they moved him left. He's horrible.
We all have those players on our team.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Chargers destroy the Packers.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. I love to watch it, even though I'm not a Chargers fan at all.
It was fun.
Yep. The Eagles.
This one has an
That was
interesting.
fun. I had a good time.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I think the Eagles, they're a good football team.
Yeah,
They have
it was fun.
spots, but
Again, they had over 150 rushing yards. They won.
I think they're.
Run the ball.
If somebody's going to contend against the Cowboys, I think it's definitely the
Oh,
Eagles.
definitely.
Um,
It's definitely not Washington.
No.
No, I made the Giants
I guess,
Washington, so
I
there's
guess.
one culprit. But I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Like, the Eagles are still in it.
Yeah.
The Eagles are still in. I 100% agree. Mitchell Trubisky is a bust. I will say it.
I'll agree.
He is bad. He was awful against Philadelphia and Chicago. Will never do anything as long as he's the quarterback there.
Well,
If you are the Bears, I am going to keep saying it until they don't do it. Give Teddy Bridgewater $30 million and have him be your starting QB.
I think they benched Trubisky in that game.
No, they didn't. He
No.
played the whole game.
He did.
I think.
Yeah.
I thought there were all sorts of things, rumors or whatever. On
No, because I was watching
Really?
that.
Oh, really?
Because I was actually watching it. Because weirdly enough, I was actually okay. So I live in my mom's place. I don't live there, but my mom moved to a place in Madison. She has
Oh,
Sling.
you're right.
But weirdly, her Wi-Fi connects her to Chicago. Like, it recognizes living in Chicago. So I weirdly get all the Chicago games. But I was watching that game. Mr. Trubisky was very, very bad.
Yeah.
He is inaccurate.
Yeah.
He stares down receivers. He is not good under pressure.
He's a great third string quarterback.
You know what he reminds me of?
Who?
He's Paxton Lynch for the Bears.
I'd say Mitch Trubisky a little better than Paxton Lynch, but not much better, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is the Broncos did trade up a lot
That's true too.
That's true.
for Paxton Lynch.
Well, the Broncos did take him though over.
Well, yeah, but like with the 20th something.
I guess.
Like the Bears literally, moved up, traded like basically their entire draft to move up one spot for a team that wasn't even going to draft Mr. Trubisky to begin with.
Well, now the question is though, where would you guys put the Bears in terms of Super Bowl window now? Like
Done it. As long I'm telling you, as long as Mr. Trubisky's on that team, you can kiss that Super Bowl goodbye.
because like
I
last year they
think
were
there's still a window.
Oh, stop!
Because-
No, if Mr. Trubisky
Because next year there's quarterback free agency. And
No, I said if Mr. Trubisky's still on that team.
Oh,
it's
okay.
over. No, if Mr. Trubisky's still the quarterback on that team, they can kiss any Super Bowl goodbye. That's why I'm telling you, suck it up. Admit you're wrong. It's the hardest thing to do in the NFL. Admit you're wrong and hand Teddy Bridgewater $30 million. Just do
is
it.
Bridgewater going to be a free agent
Yeah.
next year?
Yeah.
And he's gonna be vying for a starting job now. Wherever he goes, he'll be the starting QB. And I think it should be Chicago.
So that's the thing. Is just at the end of the day, do you think they if they take this team, get a new quarterback next year, they just jump back in it?
Yep. They're probably.
Yeah.
I think they'd be my pick to win the NFC North. Honestly,
But
really.
they would be a very strong team
Take-
because realistically, on paper, the rest of their offense is fine.
Like their defense is still top notch. They're keeping them in football games. Just their offense is dog shit because they have a dog shit quarterback.
Well, they also have to learn how to kick.
Okay, Eddie Pinheiro misses one game winner. And he's only missed like 4 field goals.
I actually do think Eddie Pinheiro is actually not as bad as everybody wants to
I know.
give him
Hasn't
shit
Pinheiro
for.
missed 2 this year? 2 game winners? Because he had the doink and then he missed it against the Chargers.
Yeah, but he made the winner against the Broncos.
Wait, what, he missed 2 game winners? I know he missed against the Chargers.
I don't
No,
think
he
it was a
didn't.
game winner.
Oh.
I think it was like. Yeah, I think
Because
so.
the doink wasn't against the Chargers, was it? I thought it was another game.
Well,
I don't know.
I know he missed a game winner against
Either
the
way,
Chargers.
you shouldn't have to rely on
It shouldn't come down. It shouldn't come down to your kicker. I never blame kickers for losses because it should never come down to it.
Yeah, and even it's not even always the kicker, as we'll talk about later.
Tampa Bay with Robert Aguayo missing 4 field goals in a close game.
Speaking of kickers,
why don't you finish drives?
Vinatieri.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But yeah.
Speaking of kickers, Justin Tuck missed his 2nd extra point of his career.
Whack.
Yesterday.
I remember his reaction last week when he made the first one. His eyes
are you not ready to move on to that? Is that part of hot takes?
He was just like dumbfounded that he actually missed a kick. It was actually really funny. That just shows how good he is.
Oh yeah. Dan Bailey also. NFC Special Teams Player of the Week, and then he missed a field goal. Yes, extra point, actually.
It's funny.
Which would have actually given us the lead, 24-23.
Wow.
So then,
yeah, but in theory, it wouldn't have mattered. We still would have lost by 2 as opposed to 3. But still, it's kind of like, oh, damn.
Well, because
maybe they would have had
more.
Maybe they would have had more momentum.
Yeah.
So then they would have been able to.
That's true because then in those drives when they were trying to go for game winners, they could have knocked out the clock.
That's actually something I was going to call bullshit on. The refs did the same thing to the Vikings as they did to the Buccaneers last week by calling a play dead way too early because the game-winning field goal was actually set up because the referees called an incomplete forward pass when it should have been a fumble. Now, don't get me wrong, the Vikings didn't recover the fumble, but the fumble would have put them back an extra 8 yards, which would have put that field goal barely in the kicker's range. Like, barely.
I don't think that would have mattered. Still,
I think it would have mattered because they said he was 0 for 2 going into that game from 50 plus, and the field goal I think would have been a 54.
Buckner's good.
But they said he's 0 for 2. He was 0 for 2 going into that game from 50 plus this year. That field goal, the game winner, if they recovered the fumble at the yards, would have been a 54-yarder, which definitely is not an easy field goal to make. You know, like it's
Ethan. You don't want me having the extra 2 more fantasy points.
No, I'm just saying it was a blown call, or they stopped the game early again.
They did that in a couple games this week. Back to the AFC West winning. The Broncos beat the Browns, but the more important thing here was that Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry were both forced to change their cleat. They were wearing Halloween-themed cleats.
Why not?
Pennywise and something
Jarvis
else.
Landry's? I didn't know
Jarvis Landry's was, I want to say Pennywise's.
I was confused because when I saw them, I didn't think they were bad. Like OBJ.
No, they so the cleats were not in compliance with the NFL's blah 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 blah. But here's what. That's the big deal. So they made them change at half, and here's what they did. You're either going to be ejected from the game or you're going to change your cleats. What if they didn't have extra cleats with them?
Well, I feel like because okay.
Or why didn't you spot it earlier during the
The biggest thing is why did you not say something at the beginning of the game? Because obviously every time OBJ or even you talk about Antonio Brown, these players.
Anytime OBJ does something suspicious, wear a watch, whatever, they always go after him for it.
No, I'm saying because they've known to have good cleat game. Those players are known to wear really cool cleats and that usually are sending messages or are really fun. They usually get forced to take them off and change before the game because it's not in compliance, right? So they always have backup.
Very strong cleat
Oh my God, Stephon Diggs' cleat game is amazing. You guys don't follow him on Instagram?
Yeah,
follow him on Instagram. His cleats are awesome.
Yeah, he has awesome cleats.
Yeah.
I actually follow him just so I can look at his cleats. I'm dead ass. That's actually the only reason I follow him.
That's the only reason I follow a lot of football players. But back to what you're saying.
But I'm just saying, all these players that do come out with their cleat game strong, they always make sure that they have backups, right? So it's not like that, but still, at the beginning of the game, why in the middle? You've already let him play for a half.
What's just regardless of the fact? Why the hell is it you're either going to get kicked out of the game, kicked out of the game, ejected for wearing cleats?
Yeah, so you're just kind of
who in the stands is going to notice their cleats?
Well, but they also didn't apply with the standards of whatever, so they gave they could have gave advantage. Something with they just weren't. Whatever, I don't know.
It's just stupid.
Because
it's stupid.
Yeah.
When it 2 came out, people were in Pennywise suits, and that's why I was confused. Is you know what I mean? I don't know.
I say we just protest the NFL and watch MLS Cup on Sunday instead.
Yeah. Wait, do
Don't
the
know.
Broncos play this week? No, they have a bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Vikings
I'll be
play on
watching the
Monday,
Cup.
So I mean,
Okay,
Yes.
I found the rule book. A player may wear shoes that are black, white, or any constitutional team color, or any combination of black, white, and a constitutional
no, but
color.
they changed it this year because of they added the cleat rule because
They didn't like. I guess they didn't approve it or something, because that's the reasoning according to the NFL.
Okay, I guess maybe that's probably why they didn't tell their team what they were gonna wear beforehand. I guess, but I don't know.
Okay,
But
so
why at half?
Hey.
so Beckham's cleats were white, blue, and red, and they were they were Joker, and Jarvis Landry's were. Jarvis Landry, I get Jarvis Landry's. Jarvis Landry was the Broncos colors. The Broncos orange, not the Cleveland Browns orange. How you figure that out while watching them play, I don't know.
Did they have
But
like
they did.
a color palette of each team? They held
So,
his cleat up.
they
Yeah,
made-
I mean, like, why do I picture fucking Roger Goodell with his dumbass color palette watching this goddamn TV? I hate Roger Goodell so much. God, what a dick. Shout out to Roger Goodell because you're a dick.
Bill Gates,
Oh.
please buy the NFL Part 4.
Yo, I think we should just chip in by the NFL. I think we could run that shit better. God
Honestly.
damn.
All the NFL fans pitch in $1. We all get 1%.
Dude, no shit. Like if every fan did that, be like, oh
It'd be
man.
so
I hate Roger Goodell, guys. I don't know if I ever told you guys that, but I hate it with a fire.
Yeah,
So
everybody
well,
does.
Hold on. Actually, I'm curious about the NFL hierarchy. So Roger Goodell is the NFL league commissioner, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Does that make him the league owner, or is there somebody that actually owns the rights to all the?
No, I think when you're the
NFL
commissioner,
thing.
you're just like, hey, I'm the head honcho.
Yeah,
I
it's
make
like-
the rules.
It's like you're the president of us.
You're the
school.
president of the college.
Yeah,
I think
college,
the 32
yeah.
NFL owners probably, if from what I would think, is the 32 NFL owners get like something.
Yeah, they're
from
all
that.
part of it.
Because I know there's like that's with like the league votes and everything. That's
Mhm.
up to all 32 owners and stuff.
Yeah, but like
Because I know there's a couple of NFL owners that hate Roger Goodell too. Like they hate him.
Yeah,
But I know like
the Jags coach
Their old
or the
Belichick?
Jags owner,
yeah, the dude
Yeah.
with the mustache.
Shad, AEW's owner
Yeah, Khan.
technically.
Yeah, Khan
But
hates him.
he hates him too.
That's because he wants to make money. He's literally in it for the money.
Yeah.
It's fine. And Roger Goodell doesn't give a shit about the owners making money. He's cares about the NFL.
I don't know. I just don't like. I think they need to have somebody better at the position instead of just keeping. Here's your money and
Well,
just
the same
not
thing
caring.
happened in the NBA before
Adam
Silver
Silver?
got. Yeah, Adam
Adam
Silver.
Silver's an awesome.
Yeah, but before him,
Adam Silver speak.
once I can see his face, people hated him.
I hate him too. I can't even his name.
Yeah, I don't know.
David Stern.
Yeah, David Stern.
David
People
Stern.
hated him so much. Like
Yeah.
he almost
He's-
ruined basketball.
He was easily the worst commissioner in the history of sports.
Well,
He was the guy that blocked the Chris Paul to the Lakers trade. He stepped in and said it's not happening. It's like you're not gonna go play with Kobe.
well,
And a lot of people were pissed off after he did that because he shouldn't have that kind of power.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
If anything,
You're not
it just
gonna go
benefits
play
him.
with
It's
Kobe.
more.
Do you think you could see Roger Goodell becoming that hated to where he has to be fired or step down or whatever? Because I know
don't think he gives
people
a
have
fuck.
clown shirts. I know they all hate him, but
Here's my things. I think it's different with the NBA versus the NFL because the NBA, like they're obviously not as pop. Like they're probably starting to get to there at the NFL, but back
Right.
then with the NBA and the NFL, like it was a clear cut. NFL was above the NBA,
right.
but I just think Roger doesn't give a fuck. Like I honestly don't.
Uh-huh.
I think at the end of the day, he's like, you know what? If I'm making money and people are still watching, because it's not like people are gonna boycott the NFL.
No,
I mean,
we should, but we all say yeah, we'll
To be
boycott,
fair,
but then we're
You
not.
say that, and people did like boycott things all back in
Colin
like
Kaepernick,
20.
the whole Colin Kaepernick thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. but I don't know. Colin Kaepernick, he could go to the Bears.
That's the thing
About
I'm
it.
saying with the NFL compared to the NBA. Though, is the NBA is just made up of like smaller amount of people. You know, like the NFL, it's you find some college quarterback that didn't make the NFL. You look at him and be like, if all these quarterbacks are holding out, we'll pay you. You know,
Right.
quarterbacks like,
Oh, well,
That's a hot take, Noah.
you know who won
Not a
the?
hot take.
What?
We'll get to it on hot takes.
Okay.
Save it up.
God damn it!
I didn't either. That's why we're saving it, so we can respond. The Dolphins got their first win of the
The
season.
Dolphins
The Bengals
got
are the
their
only
first win.
unwon team.
Unwinnable.
Yep.
They're the only defeated team in the NFL.
Yep. Bengals. Poor Ryan Finley.
What's
Those are
weird is
bad
the
weeks.
Bengals realistically on paper have like
AJ Green.
a decent team.
Well, is AJ Green
Joe
back
Mixon?
playing?
Not bad yet. It's not bad.
But it's like I said, they probably have the worst offensive line in NFL history. Like that's the reason that they literally cannot play football. It is the one reason that team just can't win. It's because their offensive line is so bad that no matter who's their quarterback, they can't pass. Joe
Right.
Mixon literally cannot rush for over 50 yards in a game. He
That's
just
true.
can't. Like their offensive line is the reason they can't win football games because their defense on paper too isn't bad. It's not good by any means. But it's not
better
bad.
with Bad News Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I would definitely think that the Bengals going into this year were probably going to win like 4 games, but they honestly might go 0-16.
No, they won't. I think they'll be the Dolphins when they play them. I think the Dolphins are just like, all right.
Because
we got one
the
to
Dolphins
try.
will force.
Oh,
The
actually,
loss.
speaking of Dolphin players, what's his face? Hayes, I think the defensive end for him.
Oh yeah, he's
On
out.
Dallas now? No, on Dallas. The Dallas, he was on Miami. You guys keep talking. I'm not going to name quick because there was an interesting thing about him.
I was very excited to see an undrafted rookie receiver for the Dolphins. Actually, was one of their driving members, and it's always great to see undrafted players doing better than regular NFL players. As long as you're having better games than Antonio Brown, you're doing great.
Honestly, like this is probably the Dolphins Super Bowl.
Uh-huh.
This is the Super Bowl. They got to win.
Robert Quinn was the guy I was thinking of.
Hmm.
He didn't do shit with Miami. He gets to Dallas. He has 6 sacks in 8 games. He had another half a sack tonight.
To be fair, Robert Quinn played for the Rams, right? I'm not crazy about that.
I thought it was a Falcon.
No. I could have swore he was
Anyways,
on.
and then I realized that we never talked about Michael Bennett
During
getting traded
transition.
to the Cowboys.
Because I thought it was just.
I thought that was an interesting trade.
I thought it was mad.
thought it could be
I
a
didn't
high
think it was.
impact thing, though. Like it could have high success.
Yeah. I didn't do tonight.
Probably not. There's nothing too bad in his name. Michael
Yeah,
Bennett had
you're
a
right.
sack.
Well, there you go.
I mean, on paper, like their defensive line's their defensive end rotation's really good with Michael
He was on the
Bennett,
Rams.
Robert Quinn, and DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I thought. No, I remember Robert Quinn on the Rams, though. He was actually like a driving member of that defense back then.
He was on the
He was-
Rams for a while.
he
He
was
was
back.
drafted by the St.
I was
Louis
just gonna
Rams.
say, yeah, it was back when he was. Yeah.
I was
back
gonna
in
say,
St.
I
Louis
thought it
days.
was during the transition.
Yeah, back in a really shitty.
He was
St.
the
Louis
14th
days.
overall pick in 2011.
Oh, I remember Robert
Oh,
Quinn now.
yeah.
Shit.
That's that
He was pretty good,
same drive.
Not gonna lie, I would like to have him on my team now. Him and Aaron Donald would be kind of fun. to
JJ
watch.
Watt went 3 picks above him. Frank Kerrigan went after him. Cameron Jordan went 12 picks after him.
Hey, he had Michael Bennett. Did we
Seriously,
talk
the
about him?
Rams could have had Cam Jordan.
He went to the Cowboys.
Yeah, but did we talk how he did tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's that?
He had a sack.
Yes,
Muhammad Wilkerson even went after
Yeah.
Robert Quinn.
And? You ready? You ready for something crazy? Michael, it's on all the headlines about him. Michael Bennett stands during national anthem for first time since 2016. After last week, Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett said, "We'll see what we can do." When they were asked about why he wasn't out there, he'll be standing up next week. We'll see what we can do about it. And all of a sudden, he's out there.
Didn't he actually get in trouble for doing
Yeah, he was one of the founding members besides Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think he was a player that Colin Kaepernick I see is more wanting publicity for it. In a way, he was one of the members that was for
It just
for the whatever.
I'm not gonna say
movement.
it sucks or anything, but I just hate the fact that they had to put the national. Like they brought up the national anthem. And,
Yeah,
I just like I said,
Like,
it happened. It happened. I just don't want to talk about it. Anymore.
Yeah, it's such a beaten down thing.
I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't.
I just thought it was funny that that's
But
the
yeah,
headlines about him, is that he's on the sideline
Did you
after they
actually
said
see
something.
Antonio Cromartie came out and talked 2 or 3 weeks ago on a different podcast. I don't know which one it was. He said the reason he's not in the NFL right now is because of his kneeling with the Colts, because they were in London. They were doing a London game because he played for the Colts during that whole national anthem.
Oh, I remember because he was
kneeled and then
he stood for the other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Their call, and he kneeled for the I remember that. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And I was like,
he got benched
yeah,
the
but
following week, and then he got cut the next week. Wow. And then no team signed him.
Wow.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Antonio Cromartie at that point was stand-up.
yeah, but still. So Adrian Peterson, ageless wonder.
Ageless.
He had another 100-yard game and a loss, a bad loss.
If Trent Williams played, Adrian Peterson right now probably would be in top 10. Like he honestly probably would.
I could.
We're gonna talk about that too. I'm trying
Or
Trent Williams, yeah,
Or
cancer. I think that they need to look through that medical staff and they need to fire every single one of them.
If I am the NFL, okay, here's my thing with the Redskins. If I am the NFL, because Roger Goodell won't do this because he is a jerk.
Right.
If I am the NFL, I make Dan Schneider sell that team. I
Yeah.
force him to.
Yeah.
I force him to sell that team. I demand you compensate Trent Williams and trade him to a team.
Yeah.
I demand that you do that.
I think so too, because he could have lost his life
You could have lost
there.
his life, and
And you're the ones that told him it's not a big deal.
Exactly. Now, someone brought, but you know what? They're not like actual doctors. I'm like, but still, it's something that's serious. Tell them to go to a doctor then.
Yeah, and the
Tell them
team,
it's not serious.
the team doctors aren't still doctors.
Exactly. They're just paid out by the team.
Yeah.
But Dan Schneider is one of the worst owners in sports. They won't pay for good doctors. They won't pay for his stay. They won't pay for good coach. They won't pay for anything because Dan Schneider is the worst owner in the history of the NFL. I demand, if I'm Roger Goodell, I'm like, you must sell this team.
I think he needs to have some repercussions because you
can't just let that.
No.
But they're going to because Roger Goodell.
They're already trying to. I haven't heard.
Okay.
We heard about it, right? We heard about it. We don't hear anything
Trent
about it.
Williams, actually, him and the NFLPA,
Yeah.
they're suing the Redskins for it.
Are they?
Yeah,
That's so.
because that's
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the NFLPA is to protect the players.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that is definitely not protecting the players.
I mean, yeah.
That's literally against everything that they stand for.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna compare this to the fullest extent either, but a lot of people also forget the Redskins medical staff is the reason RG3 is probably not a starter anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let us not mention
they
that.
ruined RG3's career.
Don't forget, yeah.
Back and playing when he clearly should have been playing football. I mean, RG3 is today because of that medical staff too.
Yeah, the Redskins have ruined so much because Dan Schneider doesn't pay for a good medical staff. He doesn't pay. Oh gosh, excuse me. Another player whose career is now over because of the Redskins, because Dan Schneider doesn't want to pay for good teams or coaches, is Alex Smith. Because outside of Trent Williams,
right.
the offensive line is bad. And what happened to him? His leg died.
Yeah.
His leg just died.
Basically.
And now his career is over.
Yeah. I think
he could be back next year.
No,
He
he's having so many leg problems.
I honestly don't think he'll come back. Even if he says I'm good to go, no one's going to sign him.
I don't even think it would be smart for him to come back.
No.
I don't think even doesn't have to be a major blow, but any hit to the leg, you're gonna have to amputate that.
Yeah. I think if I'm Alex Smith, I wouldn't want to risk it.
No.
Especially when you have now 2 kids. Like he has I think 2 kids.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet the NFL in some way, shape, or form would compensate him for what happened. some way with the
Not the
NFL.
Redskins.
Not the Redskins, no, but I'm
For
talking
Alex
the
Smith personally.
NFLPA would probably find some way for him to get some money.
Well, I think they did that with what's that guy in the Bears that almost lost his leg in that
Zach
play?
Miller.
I think they did that with him. They helped him out.
I remember that.
That was bad.
That was
You know,
horrible.
and you
Oh
know
my
what's
gosh.
I'm not. When I say funny, I'm not saying funny.
Yeah.
What was crazy about that is they were actually reviewing that play for a touchdown. So the referee, all he could look at
Was that leg? Oh,
injured
yeah.
leg. But it's sad because they ruled it incomplete. But the reason it was incomplete because he caught it and then he was like, "Ow, my leg!" But he fell to the ground at that point. So it should have been a touchdown. So it was kind of a cruel irony. Like, can you imagine being the referee? You're just like,
I would have just gave it to him fast.
I would have too. I'd be like, damn, bro. Touchdown Bears. You guys are losing anyway.
Next, let's move to probably the most controversial game this week: the Steelers and the Colts. The Steelers are 500, fact 500.
They literally went from having a top 5 pick.
They went 0-4 to 4-4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
Which is crazy because Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
hasn't played.
they shouldn't be 4-4 right now,
they're
but they are.
losing a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, Duck. Hey, Duck is a good player.
If the Rams play the Steelers next week, we're losing the Steelers.
That'd be funny.
I would hate that.
But I could see it happening. That's the sad thing.
I probably won't if they get a first option.
You probably won't.
That's the really sad thing is the Rams should not lose to the Steelers, but I could see it happening. But there's a lot of bad, controversial plays in that game. One was pass interference, I think.
The one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember which team it was or which way it was. Yeah, there was a pass interference, and I remember I watched it. I didn't watch the game, but I watched it on like NFL Red Zone. They showed a replay of it, and yeah, it was ridiculous. Literally, one of the players literally fell with the ball on the outside of, or fell out of bounds with the ball. The cornerback was 3 yards ahead of him, didn't touch him at all. The guy caught the ball too, but he fell out of bounds. They called it pass interference. It was crazy. Like if I can find it, I will show you guys. It was ridiculous.
I've seen it.
It was crazy. It was horrible.
Yeah, just I don't know. And
But
then
I heard the whole game was bad call after bad call.
the Steelers made a challenge that should have been overturned for pass interference. Yeah, I don't think it was pass interference for something, and I think the commentators make it so much worse.
Oh, this was the exact play. Pat McAfee tweeted about it. That's where I saw it.
Pat McAfee, he's the best.
Shots back.
He was Friday Night SmackDown announcer.
This was called pass interference.
He's going for. Oh
That
yeah.
was called pass
That's the one I was talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to replay that for me?
Yeah. I can replay it.
I don't want to target. I work there.
But he's not affecting the arm. Like, he didn't hold his arm or
No.
anything.
Okay. Here's my next question. Was it challenged at all?
Yes.
Yes.
And it was
Okay.
upheld.
Okay, then that's bad because in real motion, I could completely understand.
Mhm.
In fast-paced motion, but
Why-
my only guess is they thought that they interfered. Well, people are gonna really hear my voice up close to the mic. I'm guessing they're saying they interfere with his left hand again, his left hand. That could be the only explanation. But I don't know.
He wasn't touching him.
In real,
Well, I know, but like
in
it's hard
real
to tell.
time, yes, you could see it. But yeah, they reviewed it. There was a challenge reviewed, and they still upheld it,
Mm-hmm.
which is just ridiculous.
And then at the end of the game, Adam Vinatieri went for the game-winning field goal.
Places out.
Missed it. Everybody on Twitter was blaming him. It is
Yeah,
not his
everybody.
fault. Everybody is saying he needs to retire. He's too old. It was not his fault at all.
no,
It was the punter, Rigoberto, whatever his name is. Bad guy.
Everybody said that the reason the Colts aren't winning that division right now
Is
because of Vinatieri,
and that's
which is bullshit because he just kicked a game winner like 2 weeks ago.
against the Broncos. He's accepting. And I think I don't know. He's just so humble of a guy. He's just like, yeah, it's my fault. But
But
really,
it
it's not your
wasn't.
fault. If you look at the past, all his field goals that he's missing, a couple of them has been his fault.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's that punter not getting the ball right, but they're not mentioning that on TV or anything.
He's missing the same amount of like the kicks that most of the NFL kickers are.
Right.
Like, he's at that kicker level where he's just missing certain kicks because the NFL is weird now. But yeah, that game winner was not his fault.
Yeah.
It was 100% not his fault.
I really feel like, though, if Adam Vinatieri were to retire, like, at the end of the season, nobody would look at this season at all. Like, they would only look at, like, his game winner against the Broncos, which was really good.
Very sad. But
it was Adam Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Like Duncan.
That's
It's
true.
Adam Vinatieri. It's, like,
I understand,
actually,
yeah.
like, one of the greatest kickers of all time.
He is. I don't know who you could argue.
Yeah, I'd say he is too.
Adam Vinatieri has single-handedly won, like, 2 rings.
I mean, he is literally the NFL's all-time leading scorer. He'll probably never be broken. I mean, I don't know if
Yeah.
this would even be close to him now.
One other note from this game that we didn't even mention for some reason. Jacoby Brissett went down in the first quarter with a knee injury.
It's over.
I heard he could play this week.
Is it not that bad?
I
It was
heard
an MCL sprain,
I heard that he's probably out this week. I heard he'll be back next week.
which would be smart to keep him
Yeah.
out this week. Because they said if he could play,
Right.
you know, but I just because it's against Miami.
Who even is the backup?
Brian Hoyer.
Oh, yeah.
Brian
that's
Hoyer
right.
played great.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. They have a New England. They have a New
We
England.
don't talk about those. He played great.
Oh, right. Reminds me of reception that cost him in the
I
game.
forgot
He
that
played
the Colts
great.
quarterbacks are New England backups.
He put them in position to lose the game. It was great.
Brian Hoyer almost needs to end up on, like, I don't know who's probably going to be second. Who's going to be second to the Niners in the NFC?
Probably the Packers. Or the
The-
Saints.
Saints. I think the Saints are the best team in the
Saints.
NFC.
Yeah.
You know one person who I forgot retired this offseason
Who?
and joined the team?
Who?
Josh McCown.
Yeah, he's on the Eagles.
Yeah.
He's the backup quarterback. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I didn't find out about that until I played Madden because I had to play them in preseason. And I was like, "This is Josh McCown. How is this fair?"
Let's move on.
My third string defense.
Another team that could. Well, no, I guess he couldn't be number 2 because they're in the same division. Is the 49ers.
I mean, technically, you'd be second in the NFC.
I guess. Yeah. The Seattle Seahawks
Yeah.
defeating the Buccaneers in overtime. I think this is a common thing with the Buccaneers. They seem to always be in a game till the very end.
Here's the thing: is Jameis Winston as a pure quarterback is as dumb as it sounds, he's a gunslinger quarterback. The problem is more often than not he throws the pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
Which is kind of a similar problem as Baker Mayfield.
well, not just that, but Brett Favre was that way. That's the reason Brett Favre holds the record for most interceptions thrown in a career. Not saying James Winston is the next Brett Favre, but you know.
Jameis Winston is the next Brett Favre.
Because of
Heard
all
it
the
here,
interceptions.
Honestly, Baker Mayfield, with what he does now, right, could realistically be the next Brett Favre.
Yeah, I can see it.
And I really think Cleveland just needs better coaching.
I do
Yeah.
too.
I really think if
We're just gonna skip Russell Wilson.
No,
Yeah,
we are
no,
not.
Okay. No, okay.
Russell
I'm just
Wilson,
kidding, I'm just kidding.
MVP.
Russell Wilson.
Hands
is-
down.
we've
Back
been
to the
saying
Browns.
Russell Wilson's the MVP.
5 touchdowns, 378 yards. No
We've
picks.
been saying Russell Wilson's been the
Crazy
MVP for
numbers.
the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's true.
It's
We need
not
to talk
changing.
it into existence because right now the NFL won't give him MVP, but he needs to be
Well,
MVP.
because
Because he's black.
No.
Here's my thing though.
Yeah.
I think the NFL is
Then would justify that Rodgers deserves it
Oh,
over
he
Russell
shouldn't.
Wilson.
Especially after that shitter he laid against the fucking Chargers.
I honestly though, I could honestly just see him giving it to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
That-
have-
no.
But we haven't had a running back win the MVP since Adrian Peterson in 2012.
There's a reason for it.
the Seahawks are not a good football team. It's because they have Russell Wilson why they're so good.
Yeah, you could argue the Panthers are the same.
Well,
without Christian
you say it's-
No, I know, but I just want Russell Wilson to win the MVP.
Like, because in the advance, like, not necessarily Panthers, but like,
So
Christian McCaffrey literally plays like 98%.
Yeah, but I think when it comes down to who's more important at the position,
That's true.
the quarterback.
I don't get me wrong. I still, like I said, I think Russell Wilson deserves it.
Has Wilson won a league MVP?
No.
Yeah.
And if Russell Wilson wins league MVP, he's easily a first ballot Hall of Fame. I already think he's a Hall of
I
Famer.
think he's already a first ballot Hall of
I think
Famer.
he is too.
He's
I'm crazy for saying that.
He's probably my favorite quarterback, not named Drew Brees in football,
I think it
actually.
depends on when he retires, though. Because
But what
don't get me
about
wrong,
Brandon
I
Allen?
think
Okay, like if Russell Wilson were to say I'm retiring
win,
right
buddy.
now, I think he's a Hall of Famer. But if he wins
What about Gardner
MVP,
Minshew?
he's a first ballot.
lost
Hall of
this
Fame. So he's
week.
really accomplished everything
We
he could ever
jumped off
accomplish.
that.
You know,
fairly young in his career, too.
very young with the rosters he's had in his career.
What about Kyler Murray?
We're not hyped on that yet. But I think Tyler Lockett from the Seahawks, I think he's an underrated receiver.
He really is.
He's really making those toe tap catches that they need to make to keep him in the game.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the better receivers in the league.
Josh Gordon is going to be a Seattle.
Josh Gurt, yeah, we were getting to that too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So with Tyler Lockett being underrated,
What's crazy too, he's doing this stuff after that nasty leg break from Zach Miller. You forget Tyler Lockett snapped his leg in half like 3 years ago. Like snapped it
something, yeah.
because it sidelined him for the whole 2017 season.
Yeah. But
he's really good.
who?
DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
I was like, that's the thing though with Russell Wilson with the team. Like, I don't know. You say they have a bad team.
I
That
don't
offensive
agree
line-
with that.
offensive line's bad, but their running backs are okay. Their receiver
I thought-
core.
Chris Carson
No, yeah,
is a
no,
top
there
10
is
running
ta-
back.
No, there is talent on Seattle. I just don't think they're a good team. I don't think their defense is that great. I don't think their coaching's outside of Pete Carroll's that great. Their offensive line is awful, which takes away from them. I don't think they have like talented running back. They have an awesome receiving core. Not
I would say Chris Carson is a very talented running back. If he had an O-line behind him, put him on the Cowboys, he would be the number 3 running back in the NFL.
I guess. But I don't know. I know Seattle could have lost so many other games this year.
Right.
They have Russell Wilson,
But they're not.
but they're not because they have Russell Wilson.
But Josh Gordon has now been
It's
added
funny
to
he goes
that.
Seattle.
yeah, right.
Well, it will just be interesting once he's actually healthy enough
Yeah.
to play to
Well-
see when the
His injury is
NFL
back down by 2 weeks.
with the NFL mandatory drug test coming off of injury.
He passed the physical and all those tests.
I guess
to be in
on the
Seattle.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
He said
it's
he's ready to
legal
go
on
for
the
Sunday.
streets.
yeah,
of
he's ready to
Seattle.
go on Sunday. So it is
Or Monday,
legal.
it'd be Monday because they can.
That's true. But I think them three, that receiving core went
Pretty
from
good.
mediocre to pretty good.
No, I'd say great.
Great? What'd you
I'd
say,
say-
great?
Yeah, as a receiving core. Yeah.
I guess.
As a core,
With-
yes. They probably have a top 5 receiving core. Like none of
Because
those
you got
guys.
a physical receiver.
2 physical receivers.
You got
You got DK, you got Josh Gordon.
And
and-
Tyler Lockett's the perfect slot receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all fast.
Yeah.
Like Josh Gordon's gotten slow with a couple of leg injuries, and
Smoking dope.
Well, we don't talk about that.
that doesn't make his legs slow. It makes him faster. But
I don't know. That
Hot
one
take.
probably smoked a lot of pot.
We'll find out.
Anyways.
But yeah,
I guess maybe. Well, I guess they got Jimmy Graham too. Like
they don't got Jimmy
or no,
Graham.
They don't
sorry,
have Jimmy
Will
Graham.
Dissly, who is now out in the I don't know who their
Oh,
backup
he was a
is.
top 10.
Will Dissly was really good. He's out for the rest of the season
They
though.
got Luke Wilson back now.
Yeah, I like that. I just like hearing it on TV.
But yeah, I think they have a great receiving core. What is crazy about Josh Gordon is Seattle was 28th on the priority list.
I was surprised
That
to
means
see he
the
dropped that ball.
27 teams that have a worse record than Seattle.
I was surprised the Broncos,
Well, even
Hot
like the
team.
Vikings.
the Broncos
I'm honestly surprised
lost
the
Emmanuel
Patriots-
Sanders. Pick him up.
I'm honestly surprised that he's passing his physicals right now, and the Patriots cut him.
I think that's
Patriots
because they're
cut him.
bringing back their one receiver, Nikhil Harry.
Yeah,
I don't think that matters because right now Brady is really upset with the receiver rotation this year. You gotta realize Brady has like seen like 3 different like starters rotate off in some way, shape, or form.
Well, Philip Dorsett, Mohamed Sanu, Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown.
Mohamed Sanu is actually playing well though.
That's true.
Did Philip Dorsett get
No,
injured?
because he hasn't left yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he got hurt.
Which
He was
I mean,
out for like 2 weeks, I think.
but yeah, then he just
Yeah.
didn't make it back on the top when he was playing
Yeah.
well. It'll be very interesting. I really think because Brady's the type of guy where he has to trust his receiver in order to like give him targets and
You can
stuff.
tell he does not trust Mohamed Sanu yet.
He does not trust Mohamed Sanu yet because he's throwing the deep balls to Edelman still. Because Edelman, he basically right now trusts Edelman because it's Edelman. He's starting to like Jacoby Myers, the undrafted free agent wide receiver. Have you not seen him play though? Like Jacoby Myers has actually been balling out.
Like, describe balling. He's made a couple catches off the sideline.
You ready for this? That Spencer guy on the Broncos, oh my god, he's undrafted. Oh my god, he was in the CFL.
What?
He's so good. Oh my gosh, he made like 4 receptions this week.
Quantrell on the game.
Oh my god. That's
Four
true.
catches.
4 catches for like 40 yards.
Oh my god. What a bomb.
I just think he might have had a touchdown.
Hey, great
But
guy.
Josh Dobson's coming back.
There you go.
Didn't Laquantrell drop a couple passes too? Nice.
But he was dancing around the Patriots. We got to get to the main event last night.
Just really quick, one name that I'm still surprised is still technically in the league.
Yeah.
Is Des Bryant.
That's true.
Like, he was on the Saints
Gallup
this
threw up
time
that
out.
X.
Like, yeah, I just think it's crazy because Saints gave him a chance.
And then
his ACL, like,
Then
tore
he tore his Achilles
Yeah,
towards
yeah.
the practice. That sucks,
Do
honestly.
you think Des Bryant's done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just a weird thing. Like Des Bryant wasn't like amazing ever. Like he wasn't
Well,
like
Tony Romo, I think
he was
because Tony
really
Romo's
good.
guy.
Yeah, when you sort of know, that's not.
But to be fair, okay, I will say this though, like in terms of like quarterback to receiver like type of guys, Des Bryant was probably top 5 when he played.
Oh yeah, when Des Bryant was prime of his life with Tony Romo, he was top 5 wide receiver in the league.
Like
Easily.
To be fair, at one point in time, Dak Prescott had Des Bryant, Cole Beasley. Oh, who's the other guy?
Terrence Williams that
Yeah.
their 16-0 season by not getting out of bounds. Like 3 years ago.
You like
Yeah.
to put the blame on people for losing things.
No, that I remember that a lot of Dallas fans were pissed because that ruined their perfect season up to that
But
point.
like now, all 3 of them are on different teams.
Terrence Williams out in the league anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then they look at the receiving core now. They have
No,
they have Cobb, Cooper, Gallup,
JW's still there.
J-Dub.
Came back.
It was
I
funny.
feel like he only came back because he announced his retirement and the Eagles drafted
No, I think
Dallas
he
Scott.
sucked in the booth.
He lost his starting job on Monday night to Booger, whatever his name is.
Booger McFarland.
Yeah, he lost his starting job, and he's like, "Well, guess
Well,
we're
shoot,
going back
I
to the
lost to a guy
Cowboys."
they call Booger, so I'm out.
I think you saw Tony Romo have something like I should do
Yeah.
it. Didn't happen.
I made that man's career. I can do it.
But anyways, now we do.
The main event of the evening.
Oh,
The
yes.
Baltimore Ravens watched Tom Brady and the Patriots dynasty fall in Baltimore.
Okay.
The dynasty's just over.
The dynasty is over.
Hard stop.
Next week they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose the next
They're
week.
gonna
Then the
lose
next week.
out.
We're never gonna see the Patriots win again.
Week?
I don't know who they play next week. So
No, they play Houston next week.
No, they don't.
who do they play?
Okay,
What?
okay. Their next game is going to be against Houston.
But Lamar played better than Tom Brady. I think it's really
That was awesome.
showing a new age of quarterback in the NFL versus the old age falling out in the NFL.
You
It could be a lot of symbolic things.
I want to see what Michael Vick honestly could have done in today's NFL.
He would be,
Like,
yeah.
Holy shit, Michael Vick would probably lead the league in passing yards and probably be top 10 in rushing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Michael Vick in today's NFL.
It'd be killer.
But like, why wasn't Michael Vick in his own NFL? Like, well, I mean, he was dominant, but like, he wasn't. They didn't win. Like, they didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but that was
Yeah,
because the defenses were a lot. You know, like the rules
Michael
changed and
Vick
everything.
didn't have, like, yeah, it was him. Like, how his team was like, whoa.
I mean, but would you say the Ravens team is like, whoa?
I think the Ravens
Offensively,
team has
absolutely
depth.
are.
Yeah.
Defensively, they have talented players.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if Michael Vick in today's NFL, because Michael Vick, he took risks every time he scrambled because if he gets hit back then, they're not going to care.
Right.
If Lamar Jackson gets hit wrong in today's NFL, even though he's declared a runner,
I don't know. They've let it slide a few times on him.
a few times. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think
That's
that
because Cam's so big.
Well, we're not here to talk about those guys. We're here to talk about Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Guys, he is the best QB in this draft class, and it ain't even close.
Duncan and I said it
You
before
did.
Noah. But
I
think
Before Noah joined the
got here,
podcast.
Oh, yeah,
Duncan
you did.
and I.
Last year when we did the quarterback
Who was
rankings, we were high on him.
Who is all in Lamar Jackson's draft?
Darnold, Baker,
Rosen
Rosen.
and
Allen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh Allen was that year too.
Josh Allen, yeah.
Well, yeah.
And that was
Lamar Jackson would easily be the number one.
I understand, but it's not just.
Well,
because
I
of
guess
what
at
they're
one
doing.
point in time, I would have thought.
No, I know, but like, it's not what.
Wasn't Deshaun Watson in that too?
He
No,
was
he was the
not.
Mahomes.
Okay.
Mahomes
Yeah,
was-
no. If Lamar Jackson was a part of Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Kaiser.
Oh, don't include Deshaun Kaiser in that.
Yeah, you just took that.
Well, I'm
from,
just saying,
league
like,
to, like
the first 2 rounds was those 4.
I love how he thinks of Deshaun Kaiser or Mr. Trubisky. That's how bad Mr. Trubisky is. But anyway, back to Lamar Jackson, because guys, he is the future of this league. I wasn't sold on it at first. This guy is good because you know what?
sold.
I know.
On
I
the
will.
train.
I know. I will jump on the train with you guys if you're willing to make a pit stop because this guy's going to be the future of the league. I think the Ravens took a big risk in drafting him, but he's it, man.
They traded up to get him.
They traded up to get him.
back into the first round.
John Harbaugh
32.
admitted
You know
going
what's,
into that.
you know what's kind of sad? Well, not sad. You know what's kind of interesting? The NFL is moving from running backs running and quarterbacks throwing to running backs being able to catch and throw in the Wildcat and quarterbacks being able to run.
Wow. What were you saying? No.
Lamar Jackson. John Harbaugh took a big risk. He admitted in drafting him because they knew they would have to change their whole offense. And you know what?
Yeah.
And good for the Ravens to actually do that, and it is working.
Yeah.
And this team rallies around Lamar Jackson. Is he the greatest passer of the football? No. Is he the worst I've ever? Is he the worst in the NFL?
No.
Far from it. What he can do with
Mitch
his legs and
Trubisky
keeping
exists.
play, true. With
Stop throwing shots. He's
Mr.
heard
Trubisky-
enough.
Mr. Trubisky's bad. I will rip on him all day.
Maybe he
But-
listens to this podcast. Be
Probably
nice.
does. Probably
anymore.
fucking cries hearing me talk bad about him. It's like, I'm fucking so wrong this week.
Mr.
God.
Trubisky, if you watch this podcast, just know I support you.
Mr. Trubisky, if you're listening to this podcast.
Not really. I just want him to like me.
No, Mr. Mr. Trubisky, if you're listening to this podcast, I don't really care if you like me or not because you are dog shit. So,
Mr. Trubisky, if you listen to this podcast,
you are awful.
I really hope that you can actually learn how to play good again. Because
No, I don't. I actually,
if you
I actually enjoy
could-
your failure.
if you could actually play good, then make the Bears good. That would be great. Because Chicago kind of needs a win recently.
Chicago don't need a win.
Chicago needs a win
They need a
recently.
tank.
I would
Get
take
another
the-
No.
player.
I'm saying Chicago as like any Chicago team right now.
The Cubs could be okay next year.
No, they're going to be bad next year.
The Cubs are too old.
Baez is gonna get hurt because he's gonna get the. We never talked about that actually. MLB 20 got their cover athlete Javier Baez.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
You didn't know that? That was
cursed.
like a week or two ago.
It's a curse though
Yeah, it's a curse.
because Bryce Harper was on it last year.
Yeah.
Then Yasiel
Hey.
Puig was
Whoa, no.
2015.
Bryce
Yasiel-
Harper was on it as a Nationals player.
No, but then they changed it to the Phillies.
Yeah, but it
No,
started
no,
as
he-
the Nationals. The
no.
Nationals won a championship.
No, he was not a Nationals player, actually. They had him in the hoodie because he knew he was going to go.
Oh, okay,
They
okay.
had the
That's
hoodie
right.
Bryce Harper.
Darn it.
Hoodie Harper.
But, yeah,
Hey.
there's just a curse, just like the Madden curse.
Harper still brought the Nationals a World Series.
Again, he said he was going to bring a title
Oh,
back
baseball,
to DC.
too. Strasburg.
We
He's
never
going for agency.
even
We're getting
talked
off track.
about how the Nationals won the
Gosh.
World Series because that was. Or wait, did we talk about that last week? Was that last week? Because that didn't
No, we
happen last week.
didn't.
Yeah, Washington. Okay,
That was
we're all over the
incredible.
place. Nationals, you are welcome.
Yeah.
I have no reason.
I wore red too.
Sorry, we
Yeah.
are getting off track.
Wait,
But we
Chuck.
seriously got to talk about the World Series. That was crazy.
We'll come back to it after football here real quick.
Patriots defense.
Yeah, Patriots defense
See
is
what happens
not.
when you see what happens when you play a good
historically-
football team. They're not. They're going to be a top. They'll be a top 5 defense.
They're
this
not
year,
historically the
but
best
they
team
will
ever.
not. They will not even go down as a top 10 team all time. They
No.
will not.
They're
Okay.
not. They're overhyped.
Okay, I like talking shit about Patriots. I like boasting that I've been sporting Lamar Jackson from the beginning. But here's the problem: if you're any defense, you can't contain Lamar Jackson. Like, it's not just that.
I
simple.
no, but I
Like,
understand.
The
But
Browns
but-
did.
Did they?
Yeah.
That's one of the Browns' 2 wins. Is against the Ravens.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Patriots.
No.
Yeah, no, they exploited Lamar. They took care of Lamar.
Yeah, but even against Cleveland, Lamar Jackson threw for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns, ran through 2 picks.
Yeah, so I think a
Then
lot of those passing were
He
garbage
rushed for
time.
66 yards. So I mean,
It's not
300 yards, on the,
100.
300 yards on the day total.
Right. But the fact of the matter is now there's a formula to beat this defense, which has been unstoppable against stoppable teams all
Yeah.
year.
And like I said,
Yeah,
don't get
because
me wrong.
every NFL team has a freaking track star at quarterback.
Well, like I
It's
said,
not like the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't
but
matter.
Brendan, are you aware of who the Patriots have played prior to an actual playoff team? And do you realize what's going to
The
happen?
Bills are a playoff team.
Okay, but do you realize what's going to
Yeah,
happen?
they almost lost to the
They almost
Bills.
lost to the Bills. The freaking Matt Barkley.
to be fair, the Bills that almost lost for me.
We don't talk about
We don't
Miami.
talk about
Like I said,
Miami got to win.
I like giving shit to the Patriots. I like boasting. Again, I supported Lamar Jackson from the beginning, like a
Me
year
too.
before this.
No,
podcast.
but you realize the Patriots are going to have to play Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, Dak
I think
Prescott.
Carson Wentz is
Patrick
overrated.
Mahomes.
Though,
I do
so
too,
that
but
doesn't say
that's just that's
No, I think Dak Prescott's great. That game is not going to be an easy game. And they still have to play another one, too. There's another quarterback.
But that's the thing. Is like on the surface, the
Did you
Patriots
say Patrick
defense.
Mahomes?
I did, yeah.
Patriots
Did you say Deshaun
defense is good.
Son, Wentz.
I still think they're going to be great. I still think they'll finish as the best defense.
No,
I personally do.
I don't.
Because I just don't see any defenses that are really. I don't know. Defenses this year are just kind of down. Because like even the Bears'
Yeah.
defense isn't. You know.
And like you could maybe make an argument for Green Bay, but like we just watched them also get murdered, and they have their holes, and we've been talking about how they're getting exploited.
Sorry, Patriots might be the number 1 team, but they're not going to be that great. Like, they'll be fine. They'll be a fine defense. But I can tell you what's going to happen when they play the Texans on the road. They're going to lose. I can tell you what's going to happen when they play the Eagles on the road. They're going to lose.
Are you saying the Patriots are going to lose those games, or the Patriots defense will lose the battle with the offense? Because I don't think that the Patriots are going to lose both those games. I don't think
I
they're
think they're
hell.
easily going to lose to the Texans. Like, I look at those 2 games and like, yeah, those are losses for the Patriots. I think they'll win against Dallas. I think they can win against Patrick Mahomes because it's at home. They are going to lose to the Texans and the Eagles. They
That's
are.
fairly hot takes. I don't know. The Texans. I'm not going to say they're overrated. But
I won't. Deshaun Watson's MVP contender. Like,
I'm
no-
going to say that Patriots will
Texans-
not lose
Guys,
to
the
the Texans.
Patriots offense is not that good. I'm gonna break it to you guys. The Patriots offense is not that good.
Patriots
Stop!
offense is
No,
having
they're not. No,
chemistry
they're
issues.
not.
The Patriots offense is having chemistry issues.
Chemistry issue. What more they need to figure out?
Good morning, everybody.
Sorry, is anyone sleeping? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's morning now, so I can mess them up. It's fine.
Okay, no, the Patriots offense is not that good. Oh, there's chemistry issues. Sorry, with Mohamed Sanu. That's it.
He just joined the team.
Okay, you still have Julian Edelman. You still have your running back core there. Their offense. The reason they're struggling is because their offensive line. I totally get that, but that's why they are struggling. I'm not saying there's chemistry. With what? The only new teammate they really have at this point is Mohamed Sanu.
Team Noah.
Like, seriously, their offensive line is bad. That's why they're struggling. But Tom Brady isn't playing that great. They're having now issues at receiving core. Their running game isn't where it's at. That's the reason there's a lot of this, close games with New England. Their offense isn't that good. And then with their defense is going to struggle to stop Deshaun Watson and Carson Wentz and Patrick Mahomes, there's going to be issues with New England. They're not – they'll still go like 12-4, but they're going to lose a couple games the rest of the way.
I mean, I don't disagree with that. I don't think they're going 15-1.
No,
I don't think they're going 15-1.
15-2.
I still think they're easily going to do 13-3, 14-2 though.
No, that is ridiculous.
I think they'll go 12-4.
They'll go 12-4. 13. I say 13-3 is their ceiling.
Yeah.
14-2 is insane.
You
mean to tell me they're not going to lose to any of those QBs? That's insane to me.
I think that the only one that has a chance is maybe Patrick Mahomes.
That is out. You're outside of your mind for thinking that Houston and Philadelphia don't have a shot. That is ridiculous.
I guess
Well, they have a
here's the
shot,
thing, though,
but
is
I
you
don't
look at the
see it.
playoffs
I
last
see it.
year. Now, granted, this was an overtime playoff win for the Patriots, but technically, Tom Brady did win against the Chiefs. In the year that it was supposed to be the Chiefs' year. Just saying. Patrick Mahomes went for 5,050 last year. Listen, I don't like supporting the Patriots. I want to say this right now. I don't like supporting them, but I still think they are easily the best team in the AFC. Easily the top 2 team in the AFC.
I would say easily the best team in the AFC.
Because I don't see any team challenging them.
Kansas City.
As much as I hate Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, I believe Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes can beat. I believe Mr. Patrick Mahomes can beat them.
But no,
I would say that he was saying that Tom Brady's been playing bad for the past 10 years.
But that's the thing. But that's where you guys got to look at it. Like Tom Brady realistically hasn't had a great season.
No, Tom Brady's never an MVP caliber Russell Wilson quarterback.
No, but Tom Brady is not having a great year. This offense, guys. I know we want to hype up this defense and stuff, but are we watching the Patriots offense like I am? I'm watching the Patriots offense. It's not that good.
No.
It's not good.
I'd put the Broncos offense just as easily as just as okay as the Patriots offense. Realistically,
in terms of scoring, statistics.
Cortland Sutton. I mean, he's Julian Edelman.
You almost look at the Patriots way last. I'd say probably 5 years. The Patriots don't rely on putting up 35 points.
No, and I totally get that. But this year, it's worse than it's been in past years.
Well, Tom Brady's second in the NFL in passing yards.
Okay, but that's because he's Tom Brady.
Andy Dalton was first a couple weeks ago.
Right. Matt Ryan was.
He's not been hitting up Julian Edelman that long.
No. I'm saying he still has weapons.
Is Julian Edelman is actually in pain.
I was saying Julian Edelman and other weapons. It's Tom Brady. He's going to get his passing numbers. But you look at
Brady doesn't have a tight end this year. Brady's had to do the wide receiver shuffle every single week, and he's pissed about it, as I would be.
No, and his offensive line's bad.
His offensive line is bad.
No,
I am not blaming Brady for not having an MVP caliber.
at all.
I never said Brady is declining or anything. I'm just saying the fact of the matter is that, I'm not saying, we need to start blaming the Patriots for something. No, I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I'm just saying the Patriots' offense is not good this year. For many, many reasons. For wide receiver shuffling, for losing Gronk, for having a bad line. But the fact of the matter is there are struggling offense. And when you're facing these great offenses, these MVP caliber players, you're going to struggle. And you're going to lose a couple of these games. That's all.
I really don't think I don't think the regular season matters for New England. Whatsoever.
No, obviously it doesn't, but I'm just saying let's stop overhyping the Patriots as this amazing team because they're a good team, but there'll be
I almost feel like the NFL, all the teams in the NFL right now are kind of lackluster because Patriots kind of seem they're not an unstoppable force anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. They never were an unstoppable
I never
force.
saw them that way. I saw them as overhyped the whole.
I still feel like they are. There's
here's
little.
my problem is you obviously know me. I fucking hate the Patriots. I really
Sure, you do.
Okay, then Brennan will. I fucking hate the Patriots. I was pissed off. I didn't watch the last 2 Super Bowls the Patriots were in because they were the Patriots. Great that the Eagles one pissed me off too because of the Eagles, but I don't like New England. But when Tom Brady has 6 rings, I've just come to accept the fact that you literally cannot count Tom Brady.
No,
we're not talking about Tom Brady.
Noah's not counting Tom Brady.
And not even just Tom Brady, but Bill Belichick is easily the greatest head coach the NFL has seen. He's
No,
going to learn how to make these adjustments. Like, if they lose against to a team like, here's the thing, they lose to the Texans, like you said, if they could lose to Deshaun Watson, they lose to Patrick Mahomes. Come playoff time, if they have to play the Texans or the Patriots, I'm willing to bet 100% the Patriots take the game.
No, I totally get that. But I'm just saying, let's stop making New England to be this unstoppable force and thinking they're historically great when there are so many holes on this team that we're just not realizing it until now. And I think even come playoff time, yeah, it's going to be hard to bet against the Patriots in Foxborough. But again, I think they're not going to be an unstoppable force even in playoffs in Foxborough because I think the offensive struggles are still going to be there come that point. Because if you get a pass rusher against New England, you're going to slow them down. It's all going to come down to your offense.
But I guess at the end of the day, that's the Belichick way. Is there's holes? There's holes. He's going to find a way. He will bring in a 6th-round draft pick that he will find some way to play at the starter level. Like he just will.
I understand, but when is it going to be the year when we don't figure it out?
No.
When the talent is just too great on the other side to figure it out. Because I look at teams like Patrick Mahomes or Kansas City. I look at teams like Houston.
Kansas City's defense is on the upward
They had
spiral
that 2
too.
years ago. They had that in 2015 when the Patriots lost to the Eagles. That was one thing. When the Patriots lost to the Broncos.
But the Patriots that year were, I think, easily the best team in the AFC, and it wasn't even close. I had no doubts they were going to the Super Bowl that year. Last year, they beat the Chargers handily, but that was probably one of the worst coaching performances in NFL history by the LA Chargers. And Anthony Lynn and the defense coordinator, I remember his name for the Chargers, bad game planning. Bad part on them. Then we go to the Kansas City game. That was a very losable game for the Patriots. They were 2 plays away from losing that football game.
And I will always argue for this. Patrick Mahomes should have gotten an opportunity to play on offense in that overtime game because I think Patrick Mahomes would have answered. So I will say that. But it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I've come to the point where I've just realized Bill Belichick is the smartest guy that's ever.
No, and that's what's going to make New England successful. But let's say you go up against a smart guy like Andy Reid, or you're going to go up against a smart guy like John Harbaugh, who has your number, by the way. He's beaten you in Foxborough multiple times, I should mention. And even in the playoffs.
I'm not a Patriots fan. I know
I'm not. I'm just saying, let's stop making New England to be this unbeatable force, and let's stop saying New England's going to walk to the Super Bowl because they are not going to walk to the Super Bowl. They will probably get to the Super Bowl, but let's stop making them out to be this unbeatable team that's going to cakewalk their way because they are not going to cakewalk their way to the Super Bowl.
I feel
I don't believe it.
This is probably be one of the last things I've ever said. The only team that can beat the Patriots this year realistically are either going to be the Saints or it's going to be the Niners. Those are the only 2 teams.
You don't think anyone in the AFC can beat New England in the playoffs? That's crazy.
Again, it's like
that is insane.
I've come to accept the fact that Bill Belichick, if he loses to a team in the regular season, he plays in the playoffs, he's going to find a way to beat them. I mean, he just does.
Well, yeah, okay, but that I can say the same. Well, he'll find a way to beat San Fran. He'll find a way to beat New Orleans. I'm going to throw Kansas City in that mix. They are talented. They have great coaching.
But that's
Kansas City always chokes in the postseason. They can't make it.
But they almost didn't last year. Like, they were a few plays away from winning that game.
But that's the thing, though. They should have won
yeah.
that game. But because I think it was Chris Jones, I jumped offside.
Well, but that has nothing to do with coaching. That's just your defense not being a dumbass.
But that's the thing. And that's where we're choking. He single-handedly choked that game.
I get you, but we should move on.
Excited for December.
I'm excited for December.
Yeah,
because that's when we see Patriots Chiefs.
Oh yeah, because you see it. But yeah, I think you say, because they're gonna keep winning. Yeah, when you play the Bengals and the Dolphins and the Bills again at home.
No, and that's the thing. That's the other thing, though. Is obviously the Patriots do that's why they somewhat are a cakewalk most years. Is because this season they don't have to try as hard to get to the playoffs.
No.
That means their players aren't going to be as tired. They're not going to be as worn out because they don't have to play as hard. Then come playoff time when all these other teams are tired, they have a rest.
Patriots are probably one of the few teams that just get 6 easy wins.
But guys, let's realize this too. So let's say the Patriots start playing these tough teams, and I predict they're going to lose a couple of those games. That's going to put Kansas City in the mix for a 1-2 seed. That's going to put Baltimore in the mix, and then they're going on the tiebreaker. And if I get Foxborough, if I get Patriots in Arrowhead again, if I get the Patriots in Baltimore, I don't know if they win. I don't know if they win.
I don't know. I think they'll.
Because at home, I will never get a bet against the Patriots. But you get them in Baltimore again in that environment with, again, a coach who just has had John Harbaugh, who's had Bill Belichick's number. You can say what you want about whatever. Oh, I don't want to bet against Belichick. If it's John Harbaugh, I will put him a chance. I will give him a chance because John Harbaugh has always been that guy. I said it last week on the podcast, and I will keep saying it. And Andy Reid is a good coach. He, again, has played Belichick multiple times and has come so close to beating him. So close many times. So I'm not going to rule out Kansas City if they get a chance. There's just so much talent in the AFC that I'm not going to say New England is a cakewalk. I just refuse to say that. I don't think it's the case.
All right. Well, we're going to end it there for that. Did you want to talk about the Nationals or you want to just go to picks?
Attitude.
Or the MLB?
Every time.
Stats. I think just super quick. I did see, like I said, MVP, World Series MVP Steven Strasburg. He's going to be a free agent.
Yep, he
It's
opted
crazy.
out. Yep. Boomstick.
Boomstick and also he
yeah.
signed with the Twins.
Yep.
That was officialized today.
On the offer order is the matching deal, $17.5 million.
Garrett Cole.
Probably
There's a
nice.
great chance he's going to be Twin next year.
Nah, he's going to be a
Interesting.
Yankee or a Dodger. I hate to burst for bubbles.
Something else happened with they declined Didi Gregorius, I think.
They did. Didi Royce is going to be a free agent.
Yeah, they declined his 17. I think it was like 17.8.
It's going to be an interesting
yeah.
offseason, is it?
Oh, there's going to be a lot of good free agents.
Well, now and then there's big talk of the MLB that the Dodgers are going to basically trade away a bunch of their pieces to get different players. I don't know why. but-
Interesting.
I don't really see that.
So that way they don't choke in the playoffs, maybe?
I guess.
Well, are you ready to move on to pick'ems?
I am ready.
You wanna do
my
something?
take.
You guys had some hot takes on that Patriots Ravens.
I don't even know who
Oh.
pick is rookie. Actually,
Noah and I had one hot take that I found really good, and Noah
Yeah.
doesn't find that good.
Oh, there we go. Go to that.
Who would
Glenn.
you rather take? Right?
Okay.
Noah's opposite of favorite man of the hour, Mitchell Trubisky, or
Trubisky or who?
Mary Goda.
I would take Mariota over Trubisky most days of the week, but I do see where Trubisky could
wait, do we want to do this?
have issues. Yeah, go.
Huh.
I already don't. I don't need to.
Well, that's
time.
fine. We just do open stuff.
I don't think there's much to discuss because he was like, oh, Mariota went to the Bears. No, I would argue they'd be worse. I could make that argument.
I don't think they'd be worse.
Well, then maybe an even pegging. But why would you go out and get Mariota? That'd be the stupidest thing you could do.
Why
Mariota
not?
is dog shit.
Why not?
Well, the other problem with Mariota is he's always hurt. He's hurt every single year.
I
Well, that
understand.
puts Chase Daniels back in there.
I
He's a better
understand, but
quarterback
they've
anyway.
been putting Ryan Tannehill in. They've been doing fine without him. Or
No,
without
no, and like don't get me wrong. I don't think Mariota's good.
No, he's
But
bad.
one of the worst things about him is he's hurt every single year.
I understand, but when he does play, he's still bad.
It's fine. I have said Mariota is a terrible quarterback.
I've been saying that for the last 2 years, and Brendan, for some reason, just keeps saying Mariota's a good QB, and it pisses
He's
me
not.
off.
The year, I think it was, what was it, 2 years ago? I think they beat the Jaguars. It was in a wild card.
Yeah.
No, it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, they beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yep, because Mariota threw a pass to himself.
Yeah.
Well, he threw it to
Yeah,
he threw
that's-
it. It was deflected back to him by Darrelle Revis on the Chiefs. Darrelle
Well,
Revis.
it's crazy because
on the
Mariota was
Chiefs.
actually supposed to be the first he was supposed to be the first. Of
He was
the new
supposed to
age
be
quarterback.
he was supposed to be the Russell Wilson.
Well, he was supposed to be the Lamar Jackson. That's
Yeah.
what he was supposed to be because he was supposed to be the first mobile quarterback that was actually. Didn't he win Heisman? Or
Mariota?
Yeah,
He did win Heisman
Yeah.
Trophy.
Well, I mean, his rookie year, right? He had an 89-yard rushing touchdown.
Talk about that man all the time.
Yep. That's how I know that fact.
I know. Because I'll make a 10-yard run with Mario, oh, yeah, an 89-yard touchdown his rookie year, a little shorter this go around. I'm like, thanks.
We can just move on.
All right. Tune in next week to find out who we think should be Rookie of the Year going into after the midway point
As
of.
of right now, it's
As of right now, who's Rookie of the Year? Tune in next week to find that out. Also, tune in next week to find out who each of us thinks are the top
Wait.
quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
We're gonna decide offensive and defense.
Yep. Next week on
Close to-
the pod. Hey, no, next
Stop
week
it.
on the podcast, we will find that out. But let's go to pick'ems. It's we. It's week 10 in the NFL this upcoming week.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Week 10 already?
Week
right.
10 is not a good week for matchups.
No, it's really
All right, we got two winning teams right here. Thursday Night Football. We got the Chargers at the Raiders. This is gonna be an interesting
I
matchup.
think that's probably the best game of the week.
I wouldn't say best game of the week at all.
Monday Night Football game?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sunday,
second
Monday.
best game of the week.
I put it in the third best.
I'd put it as a fourth,
I
probably.
don't even. Yeah. I don't know.
No, there's some good games, guys. Like Rams Steelers is gonna be a good game.
No, that's what I mean. Is I wouldn't put the Chargers Raiders game as one of the best games of the week.
No, I think it's gonna be a good
very
matchup.
interesting game,
It's
though.
interesting.
I think
Uh,
this game's gonna be really good.
This determines second place and the. I think it will determine
Wild card.
second place
And
in the
your chance
AFC
for-
West.
and your chance for the wild card.
Yeah. The Chargers are hot right now. With getting their win. I think it's two.
Sorry, two-game winning streak. Oh, wow.
Getting their wins. The Raiders, they got a win last week.
Yeah.
I think it's really going to be an interesting matchup, both running back wise and quarterback wise.
I was gonna say the Chargers have played like how the Raiders should have been playing this year, at the beginning of the
What?
season, and the Raiders should have came into the season and done very poor, right? Like very poor, and the
What?
Chargers kind of did that.
You're,
I don't know.
okay.
Okay, I guess I wouldn't have said that they were going to be really bad. I think I had them at like 6-10, like barely, like not necessarily barely.
Coming into the
you know.
season, though, the Raiders still had Antonio Brown. It was a completely different.
No, like right after they lost Antonio Brown, like you're just
Yeah,
like, oh,
I guess.
Raiders are not gonna win games,
Yeah, but like they were always
but we didn't know that.
That's true. Dude,
I've never hated Derek Carr. I've
yes,
ne-
you have.
I've hated Derek Carr, but I've never thought he was a bad quarterback.
I think we talked about it before the season started. How he was one of the quarterbacks on the hot seat.
Yeah,
It's not, but we said it wasn't necessarily his fault.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I just don't know what weapons they have. Like, there was one point in time he had Amari Cooper and
Michael Crabtree.
Like,
Yeah. Well,
and you know what? Raiders weren't winning games.
well,
I mean, turned Jared Cook into a top 10 last year.
They weren't winning games.
you said the Raiders aren't winning. I don't think they're going to win the game this week. I think the Chargers are going to take the win 23-21.
I disagree. I got the Raiders winning 28-14.
I got Chargers. Hot streak. They're trying to figure their shit out. 26-18 Chargers.
See, I think Chargers are going to continue their upswing also. And 29-28. I was going somewhere, but you guys kept whatting me, so I didn't
What?
get to finish.
What?
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 Well, you're saying what? Stone Cold Steve Austin is a Cowboys fan. Stone Cold Steve Austin is hyping up the Cowboys-Vikings game on all NBC channels this Sunday night live on NBC. It's going to be the Minnesota Vikings at AT&T Stadium against the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it's going to be a great barn burner matchup. Dallas Cowboys had a great match tonight.
They were close.
Shh.
They pulled away late.
They won. The Vikings had a great try-hard match last week until the last quarter. The Vikings overall have been on an upswing, though.
What is it about?
Kirk Cousins hasn't been playing horrible. That's what happens to a lot of teams,
It's
actually,
not really
this
losing
year.
the last quarter because the Vikings are probably one of the best teams that can close out games. Problem is they have such shitty play calling.
That's all it came down to.
Like, it's the fact that because we can stay in ties and everything, we can answer back a lot, but we just, for some reason.
Well, I got it 24-28. I think the Cowboys are going to come out with the victory, but I think it's going to be really close up until the ending, and I think it could even go into overtime. I just see
Really, against his old team.
yeah.
So if you said the game went to if the game goes to overtime, how would it be 2024 finals score?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll have to wait and see.
Wait and see. It'll be 21-21. It'll be I got it. 21-21. the what's their faces? The Vikings kick a field goal in overtime, but Dallas still gets a chance, and they run it down and score.
But that's still
That's like 5. That's still 5 points.
What? I don't know. 28-24.
No. If the game went to overtime, there's no way that could be a final score.
If it's 21-21,
because they don't kick the
it'd be 24.
Oh, wait a
whatever.
minute. Never mind. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, but
Okay.
it would be 27-24 because they don't kick the extra point.
It's 27-24.
Because they just call it.
Anyways.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
All right.
See, what you should have said, Duncan, is you could keep that, and then you could say it's tied 24-24, and then they kick a game.
Oh my gosh, why did I say that? Oh well. Anyways.
Say what you guys want about Dak Prescott, but it's games like this where he makes his money, and it's games like this why the reason he is even in contention to make 40 now. Dak Prescott loves big time games. He's been playing good this season, and I think it's going to carry over. Dallas is starting to figure out their identity. Kirk Cousins in a big game, I do not trust. 23-20 Dallas.
I don't know. It all honestly, as shitty as it sounds, it honestly all depends on what kind of play calling is going to happen.
Sure.
If the Vikings lose, I'm not going to be shocked. If the Vikings win, I'm not going to be shocked. Like,
Right, that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
It literally all depends on how the play calling for the Vikings go. Luckily, Dak Prescott gets the Vikings secondary, which has been absolute dog shit this year. Xavier Rhodes is probably one of the worst cornerbacks in the league now
Yeah.
for some reason. But on the flip side, if for some reason we can do play calling like we did against like Philadelphia, Vikings could easily win this game. Like they honestly could. I'm not scared of the Eagles set or the Cowboys secondary, as long as we get Adam Thielen back, and then we just we take the risk of going down the field, setting up Dalvin Cook to run. I mean, I will say that's probably gonna be the biggest or one of the most. This will probably be one of the most fun games to watch in terms of running backs. We're going to see Ezekiel Elliott versus Dalvin Cook. But give me a fun game. I got the Vikings winning 27-21. Dan Bailey's going to hit a couple of field goals against his former team.
I think that this is going to be a defensive showdown. Not like a defensive chokehold showdown where there's like no points or anything like that, but I think it's going to be 22-19 Minnesota.
Awesome. Our next matchup is probably my favorite matchup this week. It's going to be this. Yeah, right? Sadly, I don't know. I might still have to watch wrestling. But I'll definitely be watching the fourth quarter of this game. It's the Seahawks versus the 49ers. This is going to be a barn burner, and by a barn burner, I mean a barn burner.
Why are the 49ers playing 2 Monday games this week? Or this year, I mean.
I don't know.
Because they played against the Browns on Monday night, like 3 weeks.
No,
you're right. It was.
I don't know. They are, though.
3 weeks ago.
Because the 49ers weren't meant to be good.
Because it's the NFL scripted season, Brent.
Yeah.
They're going to go 16-0. They got to play at least 5 primetime games.
Think about it. But
Just kidding.
it's going to be a great game. It's going to be Seattle. Josh Gordon is supposed to play the Seahawks versus the 49ers. That, I don't know. I think it's just going to be great. Overall, what's his face? Matt Breida. Breida, whatever. He's been having good games, and I think he'll continue to have one. Tevin Coleman had a bad game last week, let's just say. But I think Matt Breida is going to have a great game against the Seahawks this week.
What about Ryan Mostert?
I don't know who
You know,
that
people
is.
forget Derek McKinnon was supposed to be that.
The number one guy.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be
Actually,
the guy.
Matt Breida has always been the guy that they want.
Nope, it was supposed to be McKinnon.
No,
He
no,
got
no,
it
no,
2
no.
years in a row.
No. If
No,
you
no, no,
ask
no,
Kyle
no, no, no,
Shanahan,
If you go into the reports and ask Shanahan the preseason and in training camp, they set up a playbook with a lot of things for Jerick McKinnon, but he ended 2 years in a row with the torn ACL before even the preseason started.
Well, this is going to be a high-scoring game, in my opinion. After the 49ers had such a great contest against the Cardinals, I think it's going to be another great contest. I think the 49ers are going to take the victory and move on to be, 9-0 now? 10-0? 9-0. I think it's going to be 35-31. But I think Seattle's going to be contending offensively, but defensively they're going to have struggles.
I think it's going to come down to the wire. This is going to be a great game. We're seeing two very good quarterbacks. We're seeing two playoff contenders. Well, I mean, obviously they're both probably playoff teams at this point, but I have San Francisco. I think the defense will make just enough plays to get it done. I think they're going to make Russell Wilson uncomfortable. I think there's going to be some miscommunication between Gordon and Wilson to start out. I have San Francisco winning a close one, though, because that Seattle team is just, they're 7-2. They're, whatever. But San Francisco wins 31-28 and moves to 9-0.
I don't know. I think Russell Wilson. I think this is going to be the statement week for him. I honestly think.
I think he's been making statements.
No, but if he can win this game,
but that's what I mean. He goes into this, especially with the way that San Francisco, just because like Kyle Allen. I said that about Kyle Allen. That was his statement game. If he could beat San Francisco, move to 6-0 or whatever, that was his statement. I think this is Russell Wilson's statement game. If he can go in, especially because he has such a shitty offensive line, he should technically get killed. He should probably be sacked like 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Now, granted, he's also a mobile quarterback, so that helps. But I think Seattle makes a statement on this one. I got Seattle winning 28-17.
I think that the 49ers are they're one of the best top 2 teams in the NFC. I some weeks want to argue that they are number 1, although Saints are really strong, so I don't want to just say they're number 1. I think Seattle has many holes, and I don't think they have them all figured out yet. I think the 49ers are going to win 37-33. It is going to be an offensive kind of shootout, as it should be with Russell Wilson and Jimmy G, who is 16-2 as a starter now? 17-2?
Something crazy.
Something crazy, right? Jimmy G.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the running game is going to be very big with San Fran, as it always is, because they just are they have 3 running backs that just go out there, and it's like the ultimate tandem. I feel like if Jerick McKinnon was healthy, they would have 4 running backs just taking loops right now. I don't care. Each one of them brings in something different. It's kind of great. It's really fun to watch that team. But Nick Bosa, 3 sacks on the unsackable quarterback.
Ooh.
I can see it, honestly.
Yeah, the Bosa brothers' first brother team in NFL history to win Defensive Player of the Week in the same time.
Ooh.
They combined for I think it was 6. It was 5 sacks and then it was crazy.
The Bosas are scary, let me just tell you.
I think they're scarier than the Watt brothers.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
I can't wait for Bosa Bowl. I want to see how many sacks the Bosa brothers can rack up in one game.
Well, next to my game, I kind of stole this game from probably Noah because he likes the Rams. But I just thought it was going to be a good game when I looked at the games because the Steelers are 4 in a row. 4-0, I want to say, but they're 4-4. But they have won 4 in a row, and I think that they are just going to keep on that upward swing. Jared Goff's a good quarterback, but I've seen him has his issues. I think they're going to get most of those issues figured out coming off their bye week. But I think with the hot streak of Pittsburgh, I think they're just going to continue that hot streak and barely get the win 35-32.
My LA Rams. Okay. Sean McVay has never lost coming off the bye week. He's a very good preparer of the game of football. Our defense has been playing better the last couple games. I think we'll take a dip this week against Pittsburgh because they are just a team that's red hot, and sometimes you just can't stop that. But I think the Rams are the better team.
I think Jared Goff's going to play better. I think they're going to figure out the holes to exploit, which is basically try and pound the football with whatever running game you may have. I think the Rams are going to try and milk a lot of clock, but I don't know. This is just a weird game because I could see it going both ways. But for the sake of what I know, I'm going to pick the Rams to win in a close one, 30-27.
See, I think the Rams are a lot stronger team than we've actually seen from them. And I think their offense is a lot stronger. And I think the Steelers team, although they've been kind of hot recently, I feel like they're not that great.
Oh.
I think the Rams are going to win 39-22.
Oh, God, I hope you're right. I really do.
I don't know. I just think it's really interesting because the Steelers, just on paper, the Steelers should be the worst, if not the
But
second worst
they're
team.
finding ways to win.
And they're finding
Sometimes you
ways
just can't
to
stop
win.
that.
Because they lost James Conner.
Fitzpatrick has been balling
Mika
out.
Fitzpatrick is the
Yes.
best acquisition they could have made from that team.
But he has 4 picks. since
Yeah.
coming to-
Six
yesterday.
Yeah. I think he has
Put him at
6.
4. Oh, 6?
I think he's at 6.
Jesus. I think he has
he's
2 pick sixes on the season.
I know
Does
he
he-
has 2 pick 6. I don't know if he has 6 though, because he's only been with them for like 4 weeks.
He's been playing.
But trust me, he's
amazing.
been balling out for them. I don't know. I just think this is kind of the snapback to reality game for the Steelers. I honestly just don't think they're a good team. I really don't. Even with like Mika Fitzpatrick, I think this kind of snaps them back to the reality checkpoint. I got the Rams winning 30-13.
Oof.
I got a pretty big blowout.
Oh,
Big summer blowout. Yoo-hoo.
To be fair, I probably have the most games predicted wrong, but
Well,
so far this year.
real quick, let's go back to that.
Actually, last week we were all tied.
We would like to congratulate the 4 of us here today as by D and F we took the victory. D and F did not finish. We're not giving him a disqualification because by count out he did not make it back in time. By count out.
He did not submit the fact that he won with his presence.
But Ben only guessed one game wrong last week, and it was the best game of the week. The Packers got smashed by the Chargers. They got lit up, if you will.
The
But
Packers got packed.
anyways, Ethan is trying. I actually chose this game like 3 weeks ago to put here, and then over the week I changed it.
Yeah, it sucked. Like honestly, I think this is gonna be a bad game. But there's literally no other good games besides
Mhm.
the one you picked and the one Noah picked.
Yep.
Or not the one Noah picked. Sorry, I don't like that.
I like that game.
The Lions Bears one, just because I think it'll be interesting. Anyways, my game, I had the Bills at the Browns. I think the Browns. Okay, here's the thing. A, coaching is horrible in there. 2, you can't win. You can't win on name power. I think that's honestly the Browns' biggest problem is they went into this offseason trying to win on name power alone.
No, okay. I'll stop you right there. They are not trying to name on win power. Baker Mayfield does not trust Odell, and Baker Mayfield, in those situations they need to throw to Odell, Baker Mayfield gets scared, does not trust Odell, and instead of throwing it to Odell, going one-on-one with somebody like Chris Harris Jr., who has beat, he doesn't throw it to Odell, he throws it 2 yards instead of throwing it, making that what he needs to do.
But that's what I was going to say. Their problem is they do not have good offensive tackles. They don't. Their offensive tackles suck really bad. And that's probably one of their biggest problems with them not being able to go deep with the ball is the Baker Mayfield just doesn't have time.
He has the time to throw to Odell, he chooses not to.
Which I don't really think that's on Odell, and I don't think
It's not on Odell at all.
But
I think it's all on coaching.
But yeah.
But the O-line is actually a big factor. They don't have a good enough O-line to support a passing game. Although Nick Chubb has kind of been balling out still with that within all of the shittiness. They're basically
if Joe Thomas was on this team, I think this team would be a lot better. Or even Trent Williams.
I agree.
But again, just coaching is I think their biggest problem. But again though, just on both sides of the ball too, because even on their defensive side, like they went out and got Sheldon Richardson. He was supposed to be huge for them. He hasn't really done anything for him.
Denzel Ward. They have names.
But that's the thing is then you look at then injuries is the fourth thing with this Cleveland Browns team. They've been injured. Greedy Williams and Denzel Ward, they were out the first or from like week 2 to like week 6. Like they were out. And then obviously losing David Njoku. Like David Njoku was supposed to be his security Baker Mayfield's security blanket. So I don't know. This team's just a mess this year. They're bad. Just all around. I think that their expectations were so high. I was one of them. I think I put them as like the third best team.
Yeah, we were hyped on them.
We were hyped
Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not coming through at all this year. They're just a bad team. The Bills, on the other hand, like we said at the beginning of the year, it was either going to be the Jets or the Bills. We said one of those two teams were going to do it. The Bills so far have been doing it. They've been playing good. Josh Allen is playing to a level where he can help them win games. He's also at the point where he can lose them games, but he's playing good. Their defense has been okay.
Hey, they've been one of the best defenses in the league.
I'd say third best.
Statistically, at least.
Yeah. Well, you got the Broncos supposedly being the fourth best. You got some iffy teams up there in the top 10.
So like Ethan said, defenses are down in general.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Is like defenses this year are just down. Now, granted, that's also because of the higher scoring NFL we're in anymore.
Right.
But yeah, I got the Bills pulling this one out 28-21.
The Arcata fell.
I think the Browns' biggest problem is Baker Mayfield and Odell not having a connection. I think that's a coaching issue. I don't think that it's Odell or Baker, but Odell keeps expressing his dislike and discomfort with not being thrown to.
But that's, I guess, where the coaching issue does come in. Because Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen did the same thing, and they drew up plays specifically to get them involved in the offense, and then now look.
I think he also, not as much, but he also doesn't really throw it to Jarvis Landry as much as he should. He doesn't hit his targets. I don't think it's his fault.
Kareem Hunt comes back this week.
Kareem Hunt does come back this week. That's right. He was supposed to be back last week, but he didn't for some reason.
He's
Yeah.
back.
But I think it's going to be 28-21. The Bills are going to get the win. But I think that the Browns are going to try their hardest to do something this game. But I don't think it's going to work.
I just feel like the Browns are at the point in the year where they just need to tank now. I mean, they're good at it. They're the Browns. They can do it.
Yeah. I just think Baker needs to have a decent game, so that they can end he's a bust. I don't think that he wants that.
Call him a bust.
But if you hear it, that's all that he's being called right now. I think he doesn't have to have a great game, but he just needs to have a game that he can show, I'm not a bust.
It's bullshit because Browns fans at the end of last year were like, "Oh, he's our franchise.
Baker Mayfield, he's the best quarterback all time.
He's the next great quarterback. He's the next this. He's the next that." I mean, honestly,
Baker is not even really the one that's losing the game.
As a fan, like obviously every person has their teams that they get pissed off at a player who plays bad and everything.
He could win the games, but he's not losing the games.
Not to mention, he's a second-year quarterback. Like, I mean...
Yeah, I think that's the biggest point.
Like, don't get me wrong, obviously he was a Heisman winner. I mean, he was supposed to come into the league and take over right away, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it's too early to call him a bust. Mitch Trubisky isn't, though. He's a bust.
Yeah.
He sucks.
Agreed.
Well, to be fair, Mitch Trubisky's now a third-year quarterback.
Well, he was also taken way too high.
So... So I think we all kind of agreed that Buffalo's gonna win this game, but I am gonna put this game on upset alert. There could be a big red line that goes down this in our score column this week, and that's why I have this as a close game, 26-23, with Buffalo getting the win. But I think the Browns could do something because I think the Browns do have the talent level on the player side of things to do it. So, upset alert.
Like I said, I just don't think you can win it.
I don't think they're going to try to name on.
But, like, in the games that the Browns have won, like, they've played really, like, their name talent has done well.
2 wins.
Yeah, they're great.
And
With you on that hype train.
Nick Chubb is actually a really good running back. Like,
Don't
if
get
you
me wrong,
even
Nick
look
Chubb is
back,
a great player.
if you look back at the Browns Patriots game, the Patriots could not stop Nick Chubb.
That's why there was like.
That's why there was a bajillion fumbles.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was so many fumbles in that game. Nick
Anyways,
Chubb fumbled twice in that game.
Is it my turn?
yeah.
Yeah, fine. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I just want to rip on the Browns. This is a bad football team. Bad coaching. Bad quarterback. Bad O-line. Bad defense. Bad things going on. The reason people are ripping on Baker Mayfield is because if you're going to talk, you better walk the walk. I don't care if you can talk the talk, but you better be able to walk the walk, and Baker Mayfield is not doing that. I'm not going to call him a bust yet because I want to see what he can do with a different coach because I think Freddie Kitchens is bad. He shouldn't have been hired to begin with, so I'm not going to get off Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to rip on Baker yet, but I'm going to because if you're going to talk the talk, in the NFL, you're going to deal with hardships. That's how the NFL is. And that's why I may not trust Baker Mayfield. He can't handle these hardships well. This team can't do it. I think they're going to get their teeth kicked in. This is a good Buffalo Bills defense. I think Josh Allen and the Bills are just going to exploit him by getting small chunk plays, but it's eventually going to work. I think the Bills are going to beat them 30-17. I don't think it's going to be that good of a game. I think the Browns are bad. They're a bad team.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty.
No, it's your
Oh, it's
It's your game of the week.
Yeah, not a lot of good games this week. I chose Arizona at Tampa Bay
Kyler Murray,
because
Kenyon Drake,
a lot of points are going to be scored in that game.
Larry Fitzgerald.
It's going to be a high-scoring game, and I have that in my scoring line. I think it's going to be 42-38. Arizona with the win. Yeah,
I love that.
yeah, like it's going to be
That's
bad defense.
amazing.
It's a real barn.
It's
A real barn burner, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean,
A stadium burner.
the whole stadium's just going to burn down because of these two dumpster fire
Plantation
teams. Boo.
Bad joke.
But no, Arizona offensively has been pretty good this year with Kyler Murray. He's not playing terrible. Tampa Bay just has a weird way of scoring points. They have a really good receiving core. 42-38. Kyler Murray gets a big win. Because why not? Because I like Kyler Murray.
Good point.
Yeah. Arizona.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Kyler Murray's going to get the win. 34-32.
Yeah,
Why not?
See red. Let's go. Go Cards.
I also think Kenyon Drake is going to play a big part in this game.
Yeah,
David Johnson.
totally off topic though, kind of, but like it was funny how last year you were talking about Kenyon Drake not making that big of an impact.
He made a huge impact.
Well, made a huge impact.
Well, I think
Biggest
our
impact
biggest
ever.
thing is he was only on the team for 2 days.
No, I know, but
before it,
still,
so
I
we
just
thought that he wasn't going to play.
no, I totally know, but I thought it was when we were talking about it, and then
Yeah.
he goes on there.
Well, he was a last-minute starter in my fantasy leagues this week. I wasn't going to start him, and I'm like, nope, putting him up there. Thank God I did. Got me that dub.
Yeah, I almost picked up Chase Edmonds, which would have been obviously bad because Chase Edmonds was out. But I think that this is going to be actually like a high-scoring close game. Like it's one of those games that you don't like. You look at it, you're like that game's gonna be bad and nobody's gonna care. But then you think about it, this game's gonna be fun to watch.
It's gonna be totally fun. You're gonna see a lot of points scored. You're gonna see a rookie QB do some cool shit. Like, yeah.
I think it's gonna start off slow, and then it's the second half is gonna be wild, like bananas. Like, I think the team who wins this, I will announce in a second. What my prediction is going to have to make a game-winning drive.
Oh.
And that team is going to be Arizona.
Kyler Murray with a big game-winning drive?
No. Running backs are going to make the drive because they're going to burn 4 minutes off the clock.
Imagine giving credit to your game.
My God, that'd be insane.
Like, they're going to be down by, 4 points with 4 minutes left, and they're gonna drain it. They're gonna drain
Imagine
it.
being Cliff Kingsbury and your game plan for game-winning drive is halfback draw. What?
That's how weird this game's gonna be, though.
Okay, guys. Not gonna lie, I'm actually pretty hyped for this game now.
We're gonna have to watch it, even though it's probably not gonna be on anything.
I'll have to watch on Reddit.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I picked Tampa Bay to win this game.
Boo.
Do you have any second thoughts?
Well, because here's my problem is like I just don't know what to make of Arizona this season. Like, they're probably the weirdest team, you know. Like they shift between being a good team and a bad team, you know. Because like I think going into the year, we all said like Arizona's gonna suck. Like they're gonna be horrible.
But they're not horrible.
But that's the thing, they're not horrible. But I still don't know if I would consider them like a playoff team. But again, they're not horrible with what they have.
No one said they're gonna be a playoff team. They're just gonna be Tampa.
But
this
that's the
week.
weird thing though, is it's like it's weird because realistically they should suck. Besides, like I said, I don't know what to make of this team. So that's the only reason I picked Tampa Bay. It's because at least I know Tampa Bay can.
You know what you're getting with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. You're getting a pretty shitty team that somehow puts up points.
I feel like I know what I'm getting with Arizona, and it's a W.
I'm getting fat dub.
Hey, okay,
Hashtag
James
C.
Winston, James Winston eating that W. Remember that? That really weird.
Yeah, he's
video.
gonna eat the L this week.
He's gonna eat that W like that or
W.
whatever.
Yeah, that's dub. What do you want?
Can't even do it.
W.
Yeah.
And then you see Deshaun Jackson in the background. He's just kind of like, what?
Yeah, he's like this.
Like literally, his face is just like, this is our franchise QB.
By the way, Deshaun Jackson injured,
Oh yeah, out
Yeah.
for the year, most
Right.
likely.
Rip.
So
Depending
sad.
on if the
Which
Eagles
that
make the
might-
playoffs.
that might mean his career is.
I don't know if I want to go that far yet.
Okay, but I honestly could see
I could see
it could
it,
be
but
the Des Bryant situation where
yeah,
he
that's
just hasn't
true.
put up the stats. He hits free agency, nobody's interested.
That's
and
true,
then
that's
his
true.
injuries just kind of just be like, yeah.
That could be true. Well, this next game, Brendan, that you chose, I think it's going to be a fire, but I think it's going to be a dumpster fire. I don't.
Not a bar.
It's not even a bar.
I don't like this
burner.
matchup at all.
It's a dumpster.
Okay, here we go. Detroit. Soon to be.
Detroit.
Am I the only one? Oh,
The city is not called Detroit. It's called Detroit.
I
Detroit,
know that the city is
Michigan?
called Detroit. I thought that it was with you guys that I did the whole Detroit thing.
No.
But no, it was.
Where's the why are you calling it Detroit?
That's my bad.
Calling it
No.
Detroit.
Okay, I started the whole Detroit thing way back in the day when
You
the
don't need a
Blackhawks'
backstory.
main rival was the
Detroit.
Detroit Red Wings.
Detroit Red Wings.
Yes.
Detroit Red Wings.
Anyways.
Anywho, Detroit is actually going to finish out a game for
Wow.
once.
Well, I mean, the team that's.
I sure hope they can finish out this game.
Right.
I mean, they don't have anything. You're saying like they're gonna have the lead and finish the game with the lead,
Yep.
not come back.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the offense that they're playing is. I mean, you can't expect a game-winning drive out of that offense.
26-17. Detroit. Soon to be the London Lions, though.
No, they're never
No.
going out of Detroit.
Detroit.
It's funny because, like, you're probably never gonna find as dedicated fan base as the Detroit Lions.
Oh god, they're
I mean, they are
loyal.
literally outside of the Cardinals. They're probably the second worst franchise in NFL history. I mean,
Cardinals. You're calling the Cardinals the worst
no, it's
franchise?
statistically true. The Cardinals are statistically the worst franchise in NFL history
Yeah,
because they've never won a championship, and they were one of the very first teams in NFL. Look up NFL history.
It's true.
NFL 100.
I watched it.
NFL 100 is an interesting series, but back to this Detroit game.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Whatever, Detroit.
No, it's Detroit.
Detroit.
I don't know.
The Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
Lions.
the Detroit
The
Leaders.
Detroit
Anyways.
Lions.
I think that this game is going to be a Lions game to lose, but I don't think they're going to lose. I think they're going to win 28-14. They're going to be up the whole game. I do think that the Bears are going to have some touchdowns. They're going to be defensively, though, because that Bears defense is still good, but that's the only touchdowns they're going to get is defensively.
Detroit.
One fumble, one pick six.
Is it Prince Mukamara on the pick six?
I don't know. We'll find out this
No, it's
Sunday.
the safety that's picked off.
Hawkins.
Yeah, didn't he pick off Aaron Rodgers?
That would be funny.
He picked up Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, and then it'd be funny if he picked up Matt Stafford.
Might as well.
Well, I mean, Haha's picked off Matt Stafford several times.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of funny in the same year if he could pick off. I mean, he's
Every
got the
quarterback
hardest one in Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers, yeah.
I mean, it'd be kind of funny.
It's probably going to be Eddie Jackson if it's anybody else. Eddie Jackson's legit.
Anyways, what do we got for this game, guys?
Yes. Good NFC North matchup.
Mhm.
I think the Detroit Lions. I'm not gonna come up with a weird name.
Detroit?
The Detroit Lions are going to win because I think they're just a better team right now. I think Chicago is bad, way too bad offensively right now with their QB situation. So, Detroit 24-13.
Mitchell Trubisky, Noah hates you.
I do. I think you're an awful
Anyways,
quarterback.
Ethan?
I got the Lions winning 24-10.
Great matchup.
They
Great
don't even
matchup
have
right
no
there.
offense, which is crazy because
Finn Balor.
the craziest thing about the Bears is they've seriously had like 5 franchise running backs last like 4 years, but they get rid of them every year.
Right. So that means we're probably gonna get rid of like David Montgomery this year or something
Yeah.
stupid.
Or
No, they'll probably
Tariq
get rid of
Cohen.
Tariq Cohen.
Probs.
And then next year they'll get rid of Ty Montgomery.
David
David
Montgomery.
Montgomery.
Ty Montgomery's a Jet, actually.
Yeah, he's
Jet,
the
Jet, Jet.
receiver running back.
Well,
Or the only running back when they decided to put Le'Veon as their quarterback.
this has been a great podcast this week.
Did you say your score for the Detroit?
Yeah, 28, 24, or 24,
'cause
28
that's
to
when he said
14.
Ditchbot.
Yeah, but next
Oh,
week,
Wonderback Car?
go. Yeah, shout out to Pat McAfee.
Car's still going.
Pat McAfee was on SmackDown this week as a commentator. Greatest team: Tom Phillips, Renee Young, Pat McAfee. You can't get any better than
I
that.
think you can.
I think it's just fantastic.
What are they doing in the Wonder Bread car?
Oh, that's a great question.
There was a new car that I liked that I saw.
Oh.
We got unveiled a couple days ago.
Nice.
I forgot which one it was.
Well,
I'll tell you which car it is next week.
next week on the
Make
podcast.
sure you tune in.
Yeah, make sure you also follow us, like, and subscribe our podcast. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all those other places at SighSquadPod. For the SighSquad podcast, I'm Duncan.
I'm Noah.
And I'm the boy that calls Detroit Detroit.
This has been the SighSquad podcast. We'll see you next week.
Detroit!